fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Gone! Grant Fournier! Two-run shot to right!
There are not many games with the prestige of this one from a brisk Friday night here in Washington Township. Over 3,000 people packing the stands for the homecoming game between the Kingsway Dragons and the Washington Township Minutemen here from Tom Brown Field in Sewell. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Chase Parson on the call tonight. This is going to be a really good game on both sides. Kingsway 6-1, Washington Township 7-0. We covered this exact matchup last year, and Township won by 15 points, 35-20. But circumstances are a lot different. Washington Township and Kingsway fighting for the sole possession and probably the championship of the Classic Division in the WJFL. It's going to be a fantastic evening. This is going to be two dogs fighting it out. David Orovec for Kingsway, Cole Aquino for Washington Township. Two efficient passers, both with over 70% or near 70% passing efficiency.
Yeah, Dan, you said it himself. My key players to look at for the Minutemen, one of them is that guy himself, Cole Aquino. He has 3,733 career passing yards. He has 36 passing touchdowns in his career. This season alone, he threw 11 in the end zone. He ran in 3. On the other side of the football for the Dragons, I got the junior Cole DeNick. He has in his career 23 touchdowns, and this season alone he has 12 that he has ran in himself. Those two players themselves are going to be dogs, like you said as well. They're going to be the ones who are really going to be dogging it out for those teams.
Yeah, I mean, listen, both of these quarterbacks are not going to have a lot of passes going the other way. Only 3 interceptions for David Orovec, only 2 for Cole Aquino, and then there's 24 combined passing touchdowns between them. So this is going to be the marquee matchup. Almost every media outlet you can imagine is here tonight. D2 Sports Network, Mark Tribble with the Hat Man, Tom McGurk with the Courier Post. You know, pretty much every media outlet you can think of is here, ourselves included. And this is going to be a game that we're going to remember for a long time and might be even more spectacular than the matchup we saw at Anthony Barchuk Field at Kingsway last year. But I'll tell you this, Washington Township 7-0. Last week had their toughest game of the year, and that was versus a very good Rancocas Valley team. They won that game 38-17, and that's a statement. 21 points is their toughest win of the year. They've had 3 shutouts in their first 7 games this year over Pennsauken, Delsea, and Lenape. Their toughest games overall, though, they beat Hillsborough 43-12, Millville 21-10, and then Rancocas Valley 38-17. And then after that, they've got Timber Creek next week. They're home for the rest of the way, and they will be home the rest of the way in the playoffs as well. Pretty much secured with the number 1 seed in South Jersey Group 5 with Atlantic City right behind them. But for Kingsway, this is a statement game. This is almost as big of a rivalry for Kingsway as their Clearview game, because guess what? These two teams are passionate. These two teams are in it to win it, and this is a local rivalry that's going to turn a lot of heads tonight.
Of course, it's going to be an amazing football game. Kingsway, as you mentioned, they have outscored their opponents 254-55 so far this year. Washington Township 269-46 against. So these two offenses have been rolling this year.
And Kingsway's only loss was to a 5-2 Camden, 26-21. They have won their last 5 straight and have only allowed 6 points in the last 4 games. It's going to be a fun one. I'm Dan Wilkins along with Chase Parson. Chase Barnes is on the production this evening from Tom Brown Field in Washington Township. We'll be right back with a spectacular WJFL Classic Edition coming right your way after this.
The Washington Township High School Air Force ROTC is presenting the colors at the 42-yard line. Would you please rise, remove your hats, as we honor the United States of America. Singing tonight's national anthem, Washington Township High School senior, choir president, all South Jersey, all state choir, Miss Haley Schafella.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Let's play some football on this Friday evening. 6-1 versus 7-0. There is no better time to be a football fan in South Jersey, as the number 1 and number 6 seeded UPR teams in South Jersey Group 5 are ready to duke it out. A game that was high scoring last year, 35-20. A game that was high scoring 2 years ago, 52-23. These two teams just 15 to 20 minutes apart from each other in the midst of Gloucester County now look to face each other for what will be a battle for these two teams that have only played 2 divisional games all season. This is going to decide the Classic Division. This is going to be what is going to make these two teams great. Kingsway's got Williamstown at the end of this week, or excuse me, at the end of next week. Washington Township's got Timber Creek to end the season. It looks like Washington Township is going to be back to receive to open up the ball game. As again, 48 minutes of South Jersey Group 5 football. There's no better place to be than in Washington Township right here, right now. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Chase Parson. Chase Barnes is our producer this evening. As again, I love this time of year. I love everything about what South Jersey football has to offer. It's the Kingsway Dragons and the Washington Township Minutemen. Kickoff just after 7 p.m. here in Washington Township. Zach Burlingame, one of the most prolific kickers in South Jersey, will send this one away. And one of the men back to return is going to be Darian Joyner. Kingsway, Washington Township, buckle up. It's a long ride. We're underway. And a line drive kick out to the right side. It's muffed, and he's going to let this one roll out of bounds at the 2-yard line. A crucial mistake to start the ball game, as Paris Pratt tried to grab it with one hand before it got to the back of the end zone. If he lets that one drop, that's probably either a touchback or a kick out of bounds, and it would have put them at the 20-yard line. But instead, we've got Cole Aquino to talk about, the quarterback for Washington Township, who's been garnering a lot of interest this year among colleges and universities, and there's a reason why. 70% efficiency on his passes, 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Last week in, again, one of the hardest fought games that Washington has played all year, went 6 for 9. Didn't pass that much, mostly left it to his running back Colin Beeler, but had a nice day over at RV in a 38-17 win. First play from scrimmage for Aquino. Again, they're trapped around the 5-yard line. They're going to be in trouble This might be all the way back at the goal line, and it is in play. Washington was in risk of a safety that time, and now this is going to be neutral gain, 2nd and 10. So, yeah, they're right back, spotted. Oh, my goodness, they're at the 1-yard line, it looks like. Wow. This is going to be close. A big test for the Kingsway defense, looking to put a safety up in the second play of the game if Aquino can't get out, and jumps. There was movement, and I think it was on the defensive line. It'll be offsides against Kingsway. Again, that right defensive end had a little bit of issues that time. So that makes it a little bit better for Washington Township, but definitely not great. It doesn't make it any more of a hard pill to swallow that this was an opportunity that they could have had back. Although, who knows? A couple minutes, we could be talking about them on the other side of the field in the end zone. You really never know. 2nd and 6 from the 6-yard line. Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Kingsway really putting on a strong defensive stand early. It'll be 3rd and mid-range.
Now, if you're Beeler, that's the second time that the ball was handed off to you and you just got swallowed up. You got to either throw that out of your mind and let your game be your game, which has been all year. He's been incredible for this Washington Township offense. Or can that play a major role in his mindset going into the rest of this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're already kind of in a unusual spot with how with how this game is turning out with that kickoff recovery. As it's 3rd and 5, still keeping it on the ground as they probably should, but it looks like Kingsway is going to come up with a big stop. Line of gains at the 12, and Washington Township very assuredly is going to bring out their punt crew here with just 2.5 minutes gone in the first quarter.
That was a great tackle. He just stuck out his arm. He was going down. It looks like he got blocked, fell to the ground, and just looks like he just reached his arm out in desperation and just got enough to bring down Bessler.
Punting this will be number 28, Parker Reese. Couple of men back to return, but it's not even going to reach them. It was number 23, Mason Bryan, and it didn't even reach them as they backpedaled, and Kingsway will have fantastic field position for their first drive under quarterback David Orovets tonight. Again, a 1,100-yard passer in his senior year. Just really fantastic stuff. Being able to make these plays, being able to come up when it matters most. Again, 6-1 versus 7-0. One of these teams is either going to have their first loss or they're going to have their second loss. I mean, this is a marquee matchup, and for what it's worth, it's not going to get any better here, or I should say it doesn't get much better here in South Jersey. As Orovets ready to go, 1st and 10, deep in the shotgun, about 5 yards back. They send a man in motion, being Calvin Lewis. High snap, handoff to DeNick. Gets about 3 yards. Let's take a look at that QB profile for Orovets tonight. As again, he is a very efficient passer. 69.7% is his efficiency rate. 1,161 passing yards, over 2,400 in his career. And that TD interception ratio is amazing as well. 13 TDs, 3 interceptions. And in all but one game this year, he's passed for over 100 passing yards. So he has been somebody who likes to go to the air, somebody that will go to the air, and somebody who has really put up a strong performance so far in this senior season. Gain of 2 yards on that play. 8:25 left in the first quarter. They send J.D. Johnson in motion. Another handoff to DeNick, finds some space, and he'll be down at the 36-yard line. 2nd and 3. Robinson picked up the stop that time for Kingsway, but listen, I mean, this Kingsway team is a program that we've covered earlier this year. They beat Delsey at home 36-0. it's one thing when you're facing a team that you win by 40 points, but these are two teams. This game is going to be close. Doesn't matter which side wins. It's going to be close. It was close last year. It was close 2 years ago. Washington Township has won the last 2 matchups head-to-head versus these programs with the Dragons and the Minutemen. 3rd and short. Line to gain is at the 35. They send Johnson in motion right to left. 3rd handoff in a row. This time it will go to Danick on the right side. He's got some space. He's got a first down, and he's tackled just inside the red zone. As a huge gain to the right, a sweep off to Colton Nick, who finds some space on the near sideline. First down, Dragons.
That is just what Danick can do. That is why I circled his name on my sheet right here. That's what he can do if this Minutemen defense gives him any sort of time and any kind of space.
It's going to be trouble. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Dragons on the doorstep of the red zone. Orovets lets it fly. On the run, it's picked off. Washington Township's got an interception. Let's see how far he can run this one back. He's got a lot of space. I don't see any flags in his vicinity. He's turning his head. He's still running. And all the way back into the end zone. Washington Township, welcome aboard the Minutemen train. Pick 6 of over 90 yards from number 21, Isaac Parra. And the Minutemen bring the house down. Pick 6. However, I don't like the sound of that.
You hear everybody quiet down as soon as you did.
I think a realization kicked in.
Let's see what's.
I mean, I scanned the field for flags for what it's worth, and there must have been one that escaped my eye. Oh, boy. How far is this one coming back? I mean, listen, with great yardage comes great penalty flags. Wow. Having some technical difficulties with the clock. We apologize. It's kind of gone rogue on us. This is going to be a penalty on Washington Township, and it looks like the interception, well, can't tell if Aquino's on the field or if Orovets is on the field. We'll see here if.
Looks like they're pointing for first down for Township, so it looks like the interception stands.
Yeah, it looks like Aquino's coming out, so the interception is going to stand, but they're going to be trapped. This is marked down inside the 15-yard line. They're marked at the 14, so it is a pick for Orovets. It's his 4th of his senior year, and it gives Washington Township some not so ideal field position at their own 14. Aquino lets it fly. Pass left side to Beeler. He will get some room. Breaks a couple tackles. He'll get about 8 or 9 yards. Line to gain is around the 24. This looks like it will be a yard short. 2nd and 1 for the Minutemen. Well, so they still do have a chance to bring the house down, just
a little later.
They brought the house down, and then it got rebuilt again, thanks to the flag. I didn't even actually see what the penalty flag was, but considering where Washington Township was, you probably imagine illegal block in the back. That's usually the most common one for interception returns. No score here halfway through the first quarter. 6:20 and counting. 2nd and 1. They do send number 7 in motion, Paul Dombrowski. Now they send another man in motion to the right. Aquino, handoff, left side. Beeler spins. Just needs to get 1 yard. A late shove after the play. And we'll see where they spot this one. Side judge saying that they will move the chains for a Minutemen first down. I got to be careful with my voice, Mr. Parson. We do have West Deptford at Paulsboro tomorrow. That is going to be another fun one. Another 6-1 versus a 7-0. Except in a smaller environment at Glenn Howard Stadium.
And early on a Saturday morning. After this game. We'll see how this one goes.
Yeah, we might be here a while here in Sewell at Tom Brown. 1st and 10. Lined up at the 24-yard line. Kingsway tried to jump the snap. Here's Aquino. Now lets it fly in pressure, and it's incomplete. Intended receiver was Paris Pratt. Excuse me, number 12, Darian Joyner.
Colin Beeler, I didn't mention his name as somebody that I circled, but looking at his stats throughout his career and through the season so far, last year he had a huge season. He had 11,000 rushing yards. This season he only has 573, but it's still incredible.
Yeah, still great efficiency from Beeler. And a flag comes in while they sent the man in motion. The referees do have the breast cancer awareness penalty flags. It is a pink out here at Washington Township. A lot of fans donning their pink colors, supporting breast cancer awareness. But we do see that during a lot of the October games where these fans like to dress up in the pink. Washington Township today, though, had their homecoming spirit parade, as it'll be 2nd and 15. There were a whole bunch of clubs and activities, different classes that were doing skits and performances as Aquino drops back. Double clutches, now throws. This is a high arcing pass. Got a man deep in double coverage. Did he bring it down? No, he was out of bounds. A bold move to pass into double coverage. The intended receiver was Pratt, and leading the breakup that time was number 27, Tommy Gardler. And this is going to be 3rd and 15. I mean, in that situation, I think I would have gone with more of a screen or a check down, get a couple of yards. Because if it's 2nd and 15, he's not going for 15 yards. He's going for 30, 40, 50 yards. And I get the ambitiousness. I get the point to make a statement. But at this point in the game, you've already hurt yourself with enough mistakes. Kingsway's handed you a gift in the fact that Orovets got picked off. You don't want to give that mistake right back to the Dragons offense by throwing another pick, especially in a double coverage. Gets the screen on the right side, got hit in all directions, ball comes out. Talk about a mistake. Kingsway's got the ball back. Fumble recovery. And emerging from the pile is Anthony Totten. Back-to-back turnovers, and they end drives in marginal ways. First down, Dragons.
Joyner brought in that pass. It looks like he bobbled it to begin with, hauled it in, became an eligible receiver with that ball, and the hit just jarred it loose. I guess it really fully wasn't in. It was a huge hit. It might not have been fully in possession, but the referee's discretion, they said he was the receiver there.
Yeah, I think if he held on to it a little bit longer, it would have been a surefire fumble. But you're right. There's a chance that maybe a different refereeing crew calls that an incompletion. I can't say for sure, but Kingsway with possession after back-to-back turnovers. They're lined up at the 24-yard line after Orovets got picked off, and now Aquino's receiver coughs up a fumble. So for two teams that have one combined loss between them, some non-poetic football in the first quarter. They send Danick in motion out to the right guard. Now he passes it to number 23, who gets it down. That's Mason Bryan, who comes up with it. Funny enough, the Kingsway roster provided to us says that Mason Bryan is injured, but must be an older roster then, because he's playing in the game and he's been responsible for a punt return and already a reception now for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 from the 21-yard line. Kingsway led by Coach Mark Hendricks, assisted by a litany of coaches including Josh Mason, Matt Mignano, Marco Lentini, Bobby Barberi, Robert Kelly, Nick Capolina, Dave White, Ian Bucks, Kyle Nordone, and others. Rushing up the middle. Gets a couple of yards on it, 2nd and mid-range. And then closing out that coaches list is Kyle Nordone and Dominic Pinto. It's the big thing about Group 5 schools. How many assistant coaches you have to read off? 7, 8, 9 of them. Like I said, I've mentioned it like a broken record on these broadcasts before, but I went to Audubon, my graduating class, with 124. There may be more cheerleaders lined up for Washington Township tonight than in my entire class at Audubon. That's how packed this place is tonight, folks. 3rd and 4. Orovets keeps it. Rushing through the middle, diving forward. He somersaults into the 5-yard line, and Kingsway's on the doorstep of 6 points. That's a big gain for Kingsway that time and for David Orovets. I just love the fact that he took it himself on 3rd down. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks do that, especially that of Orovets' size. Able to come up, make a big play, didn't need to rely on J.D. Johnson, didn't need to rely on Cole Denick, was able to make that play when it mattered most, and he was the one who called his own number. And now they're lined up 1st and goal. Ball is marked at the 9-yard line. Oravets, another handoff that's not going to get very far. Looked like Denick on the carry. Again, the de facto ball carrier for the Dragons. 3 minutes remaining, quarter number 1. And for how high-powered these offenses are, I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised of how, what's it called? I'm a little bit surprised of how things have transpired so far. No score so far. Rush up the middle. Denick, touchdown. Dragons. And in a huge turn of events, Kingsway's on the board first. Student section's already elated as Kingsway puts up the first 6 on a simple 4-yard rush. Now Zach Burlingame will go out for the PAT. PAT is up, away, and good. 7-0. Kingsway scores 10 minutes into the first quarter, and Township looking to get their offensive groove back here in quarter number 1. We'll be right back. The Dragons 7, the Minutemen 0. Here from the home of the Minutemen, Tom Brown Field, it is the Dragons of Kingsway, 7, officially of Woolwich Township, and the Washington Township Minutemen, 0. 7 o'clock kickoff tonight, 62 degrees, as Burlingame deep, way back there, and out of town. That'll be a touchback. Remember, if the ball lands in the end zone, and even if a receiver catches it in the end zone, you're not allowed to return it out of the end zone. So, as soon as basically that ball crosses the line, it's an automatic touchback. Do I necessarily agree with that rule? No, but I understand why it's there.
I was going to ask, is that just a high school rule?
That's just a high school rule as far as I'm concerned. Oh. College returners are allowed to take it out of the end zone. The NFL, they're doing their whole other thing with their kickoffs. I don't understand that either.
They got enough money to do whatever they want. So,
Washington Township with possession after the touchback. Again, that's the big good thing about having a Group 5 kicker like Burlingame, being able to get those touchbacks pretty consistently. And you'll get the bounce, too, with this being a turf field. The last game that you called with me for football was Burlington Township at Delran, and that was a game where they also had a prolific kicker for the Falcons, but the grass kind of wrapped him up. Rush over the middle. Got about 3 yards. They're lined up at the 24. If you're just joining us, Kingsway got on the board first, 7-0. A 4-yard rush by Cole Denick with a dive forward into the end zone, got our first points. Township sends a man in motion on the line, now throws it over the middle. It's caught. Weiser on the reception. That's going to be close. It will be enough for a Township first down. Under 2 minutes left in the quarter.
That was a nice crunching tackle there. Really stops him from getting any more than he got. Just enough to get past that first down marker.
Both of these defenses are big, but I think that Kingsway's defense has a little bit more of a prowess. You know, they've played some very tough opponents this year, but again, Kingsway has only allowed 6 points in the last 4 games. Pass to the flat. Left side, spinning throw, staying on his feet. Got about 8 yards. Reception by Jair Moore. Lines him all the way up to the 40. It'll be second and short for the Minutemen and Mike Schatzman. The Township coaching staff led by, again, 8th-year head coach Mike Schatzman, assisted by at least 15 assistant coaches: Frank Holmes, Dan Hearn, Anthony Sheridan, Nick Fiorentino, Rob Agan, Matt DeFranco, John Wallace, Ron Casase, Gary Tarashi, and we'll finish this list after this play. 2nd and 2. Aquino drops back, well outside, rolling out of the pocket there. Oh, and it's incomplete, intended for Beeler. Aquino, guess he was working with a screen pass there with how quickly the line got to him. Aquino had to go at least 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I think they got to run the ball here. I mean, you've got 1:27. You'll have at least 2 more plays before the end of the quarter. Got to imagine keep the ball on the ground if you can help it. Kingsway's defense definitely thinks so. Here comes a rush. There's a hodgepodge of colors, red, white, and blue everywhere. And they do say it's short. Line to gain is in between the 41 and 42. This is going to be 4th and short. Aquino's looking back out on the field here, and he's going to keep himself in this game. Well, Philadelphia Eagles fans, you may be inspired. Let's take a look. 4th and 1. Flag. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Offsides on Kingsway. That sounds like it's going to be the call, and it is. First down, Washington Township. I saw that flag go up immediately, and I thought that was going to be a false start, but that's a huge break for Township there. They line it up at the 45, first down.
If you watch enough Eagles football, which I don't know what
All
rock
of
you're
us
living
do.
under if you don't, you see that's probably one of the most called penalties against the defense for that. It's just the offsides because they don't really know where that ball is with all the people around it.
Yeah, it's just such a hodgepodge. It's so hard to follow. That's one of the reasons why people don't like the tush push if you're not an Eagles fan, because the officials say it's hard to officiate. I remember the NFC Championship game. There was a defensive back for the Commanders, Frankie Louvu, who literally got called offside for just leaping over the offensive line. And there was a point where the referee said that they could award a score for a palpably unfair act, which I might have been in the 2% of people who knew what that was before the NFC Championship game. No gain on the prior play. 2nd and 10. Now Aquino rolls out right side. Lets it go. It's on the ground and complete to Paris Pratt, who stands tall for a gain of 8, 2nd and short. That's going to be the end of the first quarter here at Tom Brown Field. It's a good one so far. Go to the microwave, heat up some popcorn, heat up some pizza, whatever you need, because you're going to be here a while. It's the Dragons 7 and the Minutemen 0 after 1 quarter. Here from Washington Township, today was the Homecoming Spirit Parade, and we're not too far from the Rowan College of South Jersey. This broadcast is brought to you by the Roadrunners. Become a Roadrunner for athletic recruitment today at rcroadrunners.com or academically at rcsj.edu. Look at that line. That line is longer than the DMV. There comes another rush by Beeler. Diving forward, and on 2nd and short, or rather 3rd and short, it is plenty good for a Minutemen first down. Like we said, I mean, the athletic director, Kevin Murphy, wasn't here today. We were asked to show up and have our equipment in the box by 4. I've been here since 3:45. I've been waiting a long time for this game, literally. We've been waiting ever since we circled it on our calendar. And now, well, find yourself in a good situation here. 1st and 10. Up the middle, finding some space. Got two defenders near him, and inside the red zone, the rush by Andrew Osborne. First down, Township. Love that kind of rush up there. Not afraid to be great up the middle. It was just plenty good running there. Found a gap. It was fundamental. Found a gap through the middle. Was able to get some good yards. He's now inside the red zone. They spot the sticks. They spot the ball. And time is called. Washington Township Kingsway will burn their first timeout. We will stay right here. Don't forget, at halftime of today's game, we will reveal the fan vote game options for next week. For the third straight year, we will have a fan vote game in which viewers can decide where we go for Week 8 on Friday night, October 24th. It's going to be a fun one. We've got 4 games on the docket this year. If you remember, 2 years ago, it was Audubon and Paulsboro. That game ended 14-7 Paulsboro in overtime. And then last year with Pittman versus Gateway at Angelo Natoli Stadium, that game was not as exciting. It was 44-0 Pittman. But we always love coming around here. Washington Township, one of my favorite places to go. I mean, just this crowd. Because of the Homecoming Spirit Parade, it was sold out. I mean, there might have not been a seat empty 2 hours before kickoff. It was the first time there was ever a line for the concession stands an hour before the game started. Couldn't believe it. But this town is passionate. This school is massive. We've got 1st and 10 after the Dragons timeout. Good snap read that time. A rush wrapped up. Look at how big that Kingsway defense is at wrapping them down. Osborne had the carry that time. Back-to-back carries for the senior 6-foot rusher, Osborne. He did lose 2 yards that time. Second and 11 or 12 for the Minutemen. Lined up at the 19. Aquino drops back, hit as he threw. He's now spinning around. He's not going to get anywhere on it. The tackle, Darian Joyner, was on the catch. Aquino got hit as he threw, but he's able to come up with it and was able to make the pass. However, he couldn't salvage anything. It's a loss of 3 yards. They're now back to 3rd and 14, and they are now outside of the red zone at the 22-yard line. Well, I'll tell you this. It's actually difficult to find out-of-town scores for tonight because of how many people are at this game. I will tell you, though, Delsey leads Williamstown 10-15 in the first. Aquino dropping back. He's in plenty of trouble, but he's dancing around. He's got time, releases, and it's incomplete. Ball was intended for Paris Pratt that time.
If he just looked a little more to that sideline instead of towards the end zone, he had Jalen Robinson wide open. That could have been an easy route, wide open, nobody covering him. They all went for Aquino. Could have just dumped it off and maybe found the end zone. Potentially could have gotten the first down and moved the chains, but now they're going to bring... There you go. They're going to bring the field goal unit out.
They're going to try a field goal here on 4th and long. This will be a 38-yard attempt. There have only been 2 field goals made on DWB this year. Aquino holds. It's up, away, and good. They've got points on the board as the kick good by Luke Sheets from 38 yards puts the Minutemen on the board, and with 9:28 left in quarter number 2, it is the Minutemen 3 and the Dragons 7. We'll take a quick break. Township with 3 points. They trail by 4, 7-3. This one's up. Fielded by Johnson on the left side. He'll be stopped at around the 20-yard line, and that's where Kingsway will start. So they're on their own 22. And again, Kingsway has not won this head-to-head matchup since 2022 between these two programs. 24-10. And in fact, they had won the last 3 prior to that. 2022, 2021, and 2020. All one-score games. I'm sorry, 2022 was a 2-score game, 24-10. But then 21-14 and 35-28. So no matter who is on the winning side, these games are always fun. These games are always close, and they're always one that you don't want to miss. Kingsway starting their drive from the 22, looking to get their scores up. Oh, that ball pops out. Lyman is going to try to run it. Rather, Mason Bryan, on the rush.
Looks like they tried to they did a handoff. They had Bryan run around the other handoff and then just flicked it back. He couldn't control it. Luckily, he was the only one in the backfield.
It's going to be a loss of about 6 yards. They're backed up to their own 16. Orovets drops back, looks to pass, right side. It is caught. Christian White made the catch. He is out of bounds, but he probably erases about half of the distance to the first down. And it will be about that. It'll be third and 7. Again, that's better than nothing, right? You know, I think that if you're Kingsway in this situation, you've got the lead. It's not a lead to be comfortable with by any means. I mean, no lead in this rivalry is going to be comfortable. No lead is going to be safe. But you talk about a good pass that time, you break it up into chunks. You don't have to go. Imagine if you were on 3rd and 16. You'd be a lot more grasping for straws than what you've got on 3rd and 7 now with the gain of 9. They're at the 25. Still on their side of the field. Orovets lines a pass right side, wrapping around. It is Denick. A flag comes in from the side. Let's see what this is all about. Again, flag came in as Denick was trying to advance on forward progress. Pratt had the tackle. It's going to be a face mask on Township. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. So a big break for the Dragons there. We saw that a lot in last night's game. Cherry Hill East beat Deptford. They won 42-0. There was no score in the second half. There were a lot of face masks. And that was something that, you know, those coaches are going to be very – oh, hold on here. Whoa, hello. Movement in every direction. No words exchanged, no time to exchange. We've got a false start, 1st and 15. So that will now back them up. Think of it now as a 10-yard face mask penalty. If you want to mark it that way, it's going to be 1st and 15 from the 36. Again, right now what I'm working with here is, you know, you talk about what Washington Township just did, face mask, then you got a false start, but still doesn't excuse the fact that you still committed a personal foul. And at halftime, that's going to be something that Schatzman and crew, they're going to talk about that a lot. They're going to talk about, hey, we can't make these mistakes, regardless of what the score is. Township could score 3 times and they'd be up 24-7 at the half, but this game is probably not going to be as high scoring as it has been in years past. Rush up the middle there on 1st and 15. Maybe got 2 yards. It's going to be spotted 1 yard ahead. 2nd and 14. They're at their own 37. I mean, Kingsway's up by 4 points, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of urgency to get into the end zone right now. Just seems like that they're really working out the best that they can. They make the best of what they have. And these two teams, you know, it's like 2 Goliaths going head-to-head against each other. It's been a really fun matchup so far, but right now it seems like Kingsway is having the more sound first half offensively. Of course, we've gotten more of a sample size from the Dragons and Oravets and friends as he drops back, finds a man over the middle, and it's incomplete. On 2nd and long, the intended receiver was number 23. It was the senior, Mason Bryan. 3rd and 14. Again, that looked like just a slant route. Went over the middle, tried to get a simple play, but that's where you can't really leave it up to the fault of the quarterback or really the wide receiver. The pass was a little bit high. I mean, Bryan's not exactly, he's 5'10", 190. We're not talking about a 6'5" receiver here. You know, he's not going to have that stature to get up and get that ball. Meanwhile, Oravets, he's going to pass that one on a line drive. He just couldn't find his man there, and, you know, if Kingsway gets a first down, it's no harm, no foul. It's all bets are off, but could definitely be a big drive changer if that incompletion ends up being consequential. Oravets over 1,200 passing yards this season, over 2,500 in his career. Dumps it over the middle, and it's picked off. That's the second that Oravets has allowed. Picked off by Andrew Osborne. And Washington Township breathes new life into the second quarter with an interception. Downed right near Kingsway's line of scrimmage, but it's a first down.
That is huge for this defense. That could be monumental. That could be a lot of pressure put on the quarterback, Oravets, heading into the second half of this game. There's still only 7.5 to go, but considering all things with high school football, which I've been following not that long, that's still not a lot of time.
No, and I mean, listen, Washington Township definitely has a lot of great ground command with Colin Beeler. If they are able to keep the ball on the ground, they can whisk away a lot of clock in the second quarter and could make a comeback by Kingsway more difficult if Township takes the lead. Pass is caught on the right side, definitely got some air on it. Trying to wrestle away the ball there. Pass caught by Pratt. Got some good height on that one. He gets 4 yards. Second and mid-range. Got 7-10 and counting. But yeah, I mean, Washington Township, again, this is one of the toughest starts that they've had. I mean, RV, they weren't off swimmingly either, but they still won that game by 20 plus, 38-17. Here comes a breakaway. He's got some space. That'll be enough for a first down. They'll get inside the red zone. As the rush emerging from the pile is the leading rusher for the Minutemen, Colin Beeler. First down from the 20.
For this Minutemen offense, they have so many red zone threats. They got Paris Pratt, who was just targeted on that last pass there. They got Beeler. They just want to run the ball in. They got Aquino, who can really do anything. He's got a few rushing touchdowns this season. He has 3. He has 11 passing touchdowns. They really have a lot to utilize.
Pass on the right side. It is caught and leveled from below the waist. J.D. Johnson comes up with the tackle. And it'll be second down there as Johnson comes up with a big tackle and sent his opponent into a Ferris wheel. 2nd and 13, so Beeler actually lost 3 yards on the play. Still outside the red zone now for the Minutemen, but still a promising drive so far. It's taken a couple of minutes off the board after an interception. Aquino clutches. Left side, and
Caught it.
Caught. Took a little while for everybody to realize it, but it's caught by Jake Weiser. First down. Even with my camera zoomed in, I couldn't tell that he had caught it right away. It was very difficult to tell. It was a great spiral from Aquino there.
That's a huge one. He made a great adjustment there. He kind of had to turn his body like almost 90 degrees to make that adjustment to catch the ball on his far side.
Pratt going to the sideline. They've got 1st and goal now. They're lined up at the 4-yard line after a nice play by the senior wideout, Jake Weiser. Would imagine they keep the ball on the ground here. They rush. Left side. Breaking through. Touchdown, Washington. Washington Township breaks with their first touchdown of the night, and it comes late in the second quarter, 5 minutes remaining, and it's 9-7. Chance to make it a 3-point game here after the field goal And now a PAT by Luke Sheets. A 4-yard rush.
Jalen Robinson, I think that was.
This one's up away, and this one's headed into the next town over. It's good. Washington Township up 7-10 after a 4-yard rush by Jalen Robinson. What a drive for the Minutemen as they capitalize with 7 points after an interception. We'll be right back. It's 10-7, Minutemen over the Dragons.
That's fine. You're making do.
10-7, Washington Township over the Kingsway Dragons here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you're one of the nearly 300 people joining us tonight, welcome, as this one is going to be returned out to the right side. Mason Bryan gets some good yards and gets hit as he comes up. Couldn't tell if he came in for a slide or if he just tripped himself up there, but he definitely got hit hard. And Kingsway will have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Dan Wilkins Broadcasting is run by a allegiance of college and high school students who go together and try to advance their careers in sports media and sports broadcasting. If you'd like to make a contribution to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, the fastest-growing independent broadcaster in the state of New Jersey, send us a contribution on Venmo at DW Broadcasting. DW Broadcasting, no spaces, no hyphens, and of course, it is not required. But I turned 20 in a couple weeks. I'm a second-year student at Rowan College of South Jersey. The two men to my left who are working with us today, all great college students for their respective programs. Chase Barnes, my producer at Rowan University. Chase Parson, hold on here. He went to hand it off, and then he turned into a statue. We've got penalty flags. And then, of course, my color commentator, that's a false start, Chase Parson, Rowan College of Burlington County. A lot of great talent that we have, and obviously it's not easy in today's world to keep costs low. So if you would like to make a contribution, it is incredibly appreciated at DW Broadcasting on Venmo. No spaces, no hyphens. All football this weekend. 3 games, all 3 teams, or all 3 games have at least one undefeated team. We see West Effort and Paulsboro tomorrow. Red Raiders back to their old ways at 7-0. I feel like that Paulsboro had to be undefeated this year in the year where they renamed their stadium Glenn Howard Stadium. In the 3rd year coaching with Kevin Harvey, one of the most electrifying football players to ever grace South Jersey in the mid-90s. More whistles, and Kingsway burns a timeout. 4:59 in quarter number 2. It's the Minutemen 10 and the Dragons 7. We'll be right back. A lot of media here in the area tonight. Jersey Sports Zone is here in front of I would say a sold-out crowd. I don't see a lot of empty spaces on either side of the bleachers. Again, the bleachers on this side have basically been sold out since 2 hours prior to kickoff, thanks to the Homecoming Spirit Parade. Oravets on play action, passes it over the middle, gets about 10 yards. Pass complete to Cole Denick, the junior running back. It'll be 2nd and 5. Line of gain is at the 48, still in Kingsway territory. Still got about 5 yards to go for the Dragons. Orvets over the middle. That's
again.
Three interceptions. The hat trick for the Minutemen. They continue to run through. Brought down at the 35. Washington Township, hello. Interception by Isaac Para. That's 3 now for David Orovets, and somehow it's only bitten him for 3-point deficit. Wow.
He's only thrown 3 all year.
He's doubled it.
He's doubled it just in one game.
And that's got to be a rough feeling for David Orovets. Again, such a team leader in his senior year. He knows how much this Kingsway team wants this win. They're 6th right now in UPR rankings. I think even if they lose this game, they would probably still have a first-round playoff game at home. But a win would be the difference between a number 6 ranking and maybe a number 3 or number 2, depending on where UPR decides to favor them. So, again, this win would mean a lot more for Kingsway. I mean, Washington Township, it means more because it's a rival, and you'd be one week away from an undefeated regular season. But for Kingsway, it's hard to call them underdogs because they're 6-1. They have, again, what was the outscoring rate that you said, 225 to something?
Washington Township has 269 to 46. Kingsway has 254 to 55.
Yeah, neither team has allowed 100 points this year, and we're in week 7. We're in the midst of October, folks. Aquino. Oh, he got hit hard as he threw. No flag, and it's caught. Unbelievable. Catch made. Colin Beeler. Cole Aquino got hit by a bulldozer from the defensive line, and it doesn't matter because the football ended up in the receiver's hands, Colin Beeler, for 34 yards, and it'll be 16 for Washington Township. Wow.
Incredible. Huge leap. We're going to get a replay here, but from our angle, for me, it looked like he kind of reached over the defender and hauled that ball in. You saw the flags fly, if you could, at the end of the play there. I think it was for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, probably something at the end of the play there,
Yeah,
if I had to
kick
guess.
came after. Kick is up.
This
and
one is
good.
up and good. Well, how about this? What a start for Washington Township. They were down 7-0. They didn't have the best start that they could imagine. Let's take a look at that replay real quick. Let's take a look real quick at that replay presented by Harper Driving School. I mean, this was a fantastic play. I think we got Aquino getting hit. I mean, he's going to feel that one in the morning. I mean, you know, we talk about if he had let that ball any sooner, might have been roughing the passer, but it didn't matter because watch this. Boom. Got hit hard. Couldn't tell who that D lineman was, and then he just comes up with it, goes the rest of the way, 34 yards to the end zone. That's just great stuff there.
That's spectacular. You have to give credit where credit is due. Both players on that play. Cole Aquino, who got leveled, as you saw there, and then Beeler, who just reeled in that ball, which was incredible.
The penalty, you talked about unsportsmanlike conduct. It is, but it's not for Kingsway. It is an excessive celebration penalty against Washington Township. Now, I don't believe in the excessive celebration penalty because these are kids, and you see what the NFL gets away with. You see what college gets away with. I think that that's taken the fun out of the game. But again, I am not the referees. I am not the one who wrote the rule book. So that's the first or second time this year I've seen an excessive celebration call. Don't see it too often, but honestly,
I would excessively celebrate it.
yeah,
if I made
after
that
making
catch, too.
that catch, I can kind of excuse it to go up 10 points. Rush up the middle. Kingsway's got some life. They're going to be at midfield, and they're going to be down in opposite territory here with a great kick return. Looked like that Mason Bryan was the one who picked that up on a hop. And with 3.5 minutes left in the second quarter in the first half, great game so far. And now Washington Township's up 10. A couple of out-of-town scores from our good friend Damian Waiters. Winslow currently leads Mainland 26-6, and Lower Cape May leads Cumberland 13-7. First and 10, Township ringing that cowbell for their defensive efforts. As they send Bryan in motion, Oravets kept it himself, stumbling but still on his feet. He's at the 20-yard line, and he finally gets taken out from underneath him. Tackle made by Osborne. But David Oravets gets inside the red zone with a thunderous statement run.
That is huge for that young man's confidence after the 3 interceptions, which we mentioned earlier. That doubles his season tally at 6. He came into this game with only 3. That huge run there to put him into the red zone definitely could get something sparking.
1st and 10. They're at the looks like the 15-yard line. Again, if I'm David Oravets, or if I'm Kingsway, if I'm Mark Hendricks, I want to keep the ball on the ground until the end of the half. He's already thrown 3 interceptions. You don't want that headset or mindset to get any worse. Stick with what you got. You still have some great rushers in Danick and Johnson here, as they got to keep them on the feet here on forward progress. Let's see where they put this. I think it's about 2 yards. Delsey now leads Williamstown 13-7 with 3 minutes left in the second quarter. They're at the 13-yard line. They did gain 2 yards on the play. By the way, Seneca leads PVI 7-0 in the second quarter. Another rush up the middle. He'll get to about 10. Palaganis got the tackle that time.
Danick made a nice move to dodge the one pressuring defender before he ran into the rest of the line, but that could have been a big loss, big tackle for loss there if he just had that right, but Danick made a good move.
Yeah, Danick, again, he's showing why he's such a good, reliable rusher for Kingsway here. Really showing what he's made of as Johnson in motion. Handoff. Danick on his feet inside the 5. He's going to inch closer to the goal line. Now it's a 2-minute drill. You've got, well, more of a 2-minute scramble now that you're near the goal line. They're going to drop the sticks. 1st and goal. They're at the 3-yard line. Again, Kingsway heeding the warnings. Oravets has already thrown 3 interceptions. And now a timeout is called. Washington Township burns their first. We've got under 2 minutes left in the first half. We'll stay right here as we'll talk about our schedule for next week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Again, you know, we celebrated broadcast number 600 last night, for those that aren't aware. The game didn't exactly end in the way that we wanted it to. And I mean that not in a biased way. I mean that in a sense of I like watching good football. Cherry Hill East beat Deptford 42-0. But tomorrow we have more small school football between the West Deptford Eagles and the Paulsboro Red Raiders from Glenn Howard Stadium, 11 a.m. kickoff. Then we've got boys soccer in the BCSL on Monday at 3:45 from Pennsauken between the Pemberton Hornets and the Pennsauken Indians. We were at Deptford last night. We'll see them again on Wednesday for boys soccer. And for our Washington Township Minutemen friends, they'll be playing Washington Township at 4 o'clock on Wednesday the 22nd. That will be the last regular season match for Deptford prior to the Coaches Cup, which I believe the next poll, Chase, you're a soccer guy. I believe that comes out on Monday.
This weekend.
Okay.
It should be out either.
For our soccer friends.
Yeah, I would say about maybe Sunday. They come out about Sunday or Monday.
Because it's the second poll of 3, and then they do the seeding.
Yep.
Minute 46 remaining. Washington Township burned their first time out. Kingsway has 1 remaining. They send a man in motion. Washington Township counters on the defense. Here comes the rush. Left side. Diving forward. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Touchdown, Dragons. There's a man down in the middle, but he's able to get up. Kingsway. Goal line rush with under 2 minutes left in the half from Danick. And it's now 17-13.
For Danick, that's his 13th of the year. On the ground. Again, he's the guy that I've circled on the playbook that I have here. Again, 13 touchdowns in his 8th game of the season. That's just an incredible track record.
Minute 42. This one is up, away, and good. Kingsway 14, Washington Township 17. Got a minute 38 left. Let's take a quick break. Kingsway 14, Washington Township 17. Goal line rush, Koldenik picked up the touchdown. And it's now a 3-point game in what has been a spectacular Friday night showcase so far. Washington Township with 17 points, mostly off of 3 interceptions, picking off David Orovets not once, not twice, but thrice here in the first half. Line drive kick, bounces once, and it'll be picked up by the Minutemen by Paris Pratt. He'll get some space to the right, jukes out a man. He'll be down around the 20-yard line, so basically neutral benefit as to if he let it go and be a touchback, as we'll have 1:35 left in the second quarter. Township's going to have 90 seconds. Try to get into the end zone, or at least try to get in the field goal range, because you do have Luke Sheets, who can bang one from, we saw from 38. What's Township got to do here?
They got to keep it smart. They can't really take that. I personally, if I was the head coach, I would not play a lot of risk with 90 seconds, as you said. Just trying to advance up the field as smartly and as efficiently as you can without taking as many risks, because these two defenses have been huge. You've seen the Minutemen defense with 3 interceptions in this first half. The Dragons are just waiting to explode on the defensive side.
And Washington Township has coughed up a fumble as well. So they are not flawless in turnovers either. They do take a risk. There's movement, there's contact, and there's a flag. He caught it, but I think pass interference is going to be called.
I think that might be pass interference on the Dragons.
It's got to be on Johnson there, because there was a lot of movement. And I think that, again, it looked like Paris Pratt came down with it, but this probably should be, if we're right, it'll be defensive pass interference, and it is. So in this situation, I mean, Kingsway's defense is lined up back here, but again, you can decline the. I didn't see the signal that the ref that the.
Yeah, I think he caught that.
I think he did.
I think it was smacked down.
Well, remember, in the NFL, it's a spot foul.
Right.
So it's 15-yard, or it's, if you catch it 30 yards downfield and there's pass interference, the penalty is 30 yards. It's whatever you would have gotten. But in high school, it's an automatic 15-yard penalty. But in this situation, because he caught it, they will get basically like an NFL style where they will make up the difference. It's first down. And another flag comes in. Mark Hendricks was livid on the sideline. Mark Hendricks has been extremely upset, and now they're issuing a sideline warning. You can see he's got his headset off, and he is irate on the sideline. Now, again, the pass interference was called, and I would imagine there was something that went on with that. And in football, there's a lot more leniency with these coaches. Not often do you see a head coach get flagged. And again, he's trying to plead his case, and the referee's just going to turn his back and walk away.
As well as the 3 stooges out of the 20 coaches that are on the sideline for this Group 5 school.
Yeah, again, I would imagine that they are matching that head coach's anger and irateness. But again,
he has 15 guys to do it. So.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not going to fault Kingsway. I do think that was defensive pass interference. But as a head coach, you have to keep your cool, because if the players don't keep their cool, that's your responsibility. But the players can't be responsible for you. Here comes a pass. Left side incomplete. Mason Bryant on the breakup that time. Now, again, the flag that you saw on the sideline, you notice that nobody advanced any yardage. The sideline warning, it's a warning for a reason. You get 1 warning. Second penalty, I believe, is 5 yards, and then the third or anything after are 15 yards. But again, how often when you watch the NFL, you don't see, or even in college football, as much as head coaches get irate, they don't get flagged much. So that he must have either said or done something that the referees really, really did not like, or he was overstepped. Head ref called a flag, and it's a false start. Honestly, a lot of sloppiness on both sides here. I mean, it's a close game. It's a 17-14 game. And listen, as a high school sports broadcaster, when you're covering high school sports, your job is to be positive. Your job is to lift players up. I'll just say, in constructive criticism, this game it's been pretty sloppy with penalties. Kingsway's been hit with a face mask. There's been unsportsmanlikes. There's been excessive celebrations. There's been coaches getting flagged. Might be an interesting second half as Aquino rushes inside the 15. He's got a first down. Huge gain for the Minutemen as they are able to get across. And despite all of the chaos that we've seen, there's now exactly 1 minute on the clock with Aquino taking himself out of bounds. We talked about a 1.5-minute drill that Washington Township had. You said that they didn't want to, that they shouldn't take any risks. Well, guess what? They took a lot of risks.
They shut me up.
That's
why I'm not coaching a top 20 ranked in the state football team.
Yeah, Washington Township number 9 in the state. Kingsway number 20 in last week's polls. And that's in a mix of small schools, big schools, and Catholic schools. We've got another flag. You can hear these fans getting frustrated with the amount of laundry on the field in this second half, or this second quarter. Now it's offside. And whoever was on the chain gang had the chain back to 1st and 15, but I'm pretty sure it's lined up. They got to move it the other way, right? No, they're okay. Never mind. I misread it. Trips left, 1st and 15. Aquino dropping back. He's in trouble, gets hit as he threw. And it's almost intercepted. Would have been brought down by Anthony Totten. That would have been the 4th total interception by both defenses today. But they're unable to get through. And remember, Luke Sheets hit a field goal from 38 yards out. Now, they're right now at the 23, so this would be a 33-yard attempt. I'm not opposed to them trying a field goal to go up 6 points. I mean, the likelihood that Zach Burlingame misses a PAT is very slim, but you take the points that you can get if he can't get anything else. Here comes a rush to the right side. Aquino gets hit out of bounds. See how far he can get on this one. Marcel Johnson looked like he had, no, never mind, or 27. Tommy Gardler had the rush, or had the tackle, rather. 47 seconds remaining in the first half. Stay tuned for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting Archives program, the halftime show where we bring you the best of the best from Dan Wilkins Broadcasting's 4 years on the air, from walk-off hits to game-winning shots to much more during the halftime break. So stay tuned. Aquino, left side, looks for a man downfield, and it's picked off. There's number 4. Kingsway gives the Minutemen a taste of their own medicine, and Mason Bryan comes in, and a flag comes in from the far sideline. There's bound to be something when an interception goes out right in a hodgepodge of 50 high school players, as Mason Bryan met his men on the sideline, but we got to see what this flag's about. It was after the interception. It was as the play was ending. Personal foul on Township. So insult to injury. They were downed at around the 30 for the interception, and now Kingsway denies Township any chance at points, and now the roles are reversed. As a great man said, how the turntables, 40 seconds, 3-point game.
You saw all the excitement from one of the 20 head coaches or coaches on the Kingsway sideline.
Listen, Washington Township's got more assistant coaches than Kingsway, so.
Exactly. It's only the
they're
first
just
half.
farther away.
Just imagine the second half.
Imagine how incredibly loud and packed and full of life this place is going to be in the second half, especially if this game remains close. It was a 15-point game last year, 35-20. A rush for 3 yards. Kingsway burns their final timeout. 30 seconds remain in the second quarter. It's the Dragons 14 and the Minutemen 17 right after this. Tail end of the second quarter, it's Township 17, Kingsway 14. Man, what a game this has been. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Chase Parson on the call. Chase Barnes from Rowan University joining us as the producer, pushing the buttons tonight. 2nd and 7. Kingsway at their own 42. Orovets in the shotgun. O-line holding up like a brick wall. Lets it fly. Caught. J.D. Johnson on the near sideline. Brings in the catch is confirmed by the side official. First down, they flip the field, and they're on the doorstep of the red zone with Kingsway looking to make a last stand before the halftime break.
That's just a ridiculous throw by Orovets. J.D. Johnson has really been all over the field on both ends of the football. You've heard his name a lot so far in this first half. It's incredible. Great tiptoe catch there on the sideline just in case. It wasn't really super close to the sideline where he needed to keep the tips of the toes in, but just in case.
Yeah, that was very close there.
Some style points.
Referee signaling over to Washington Township. They do have 2 timeouts remaining, but clock is still stopped here with 12.1. Not sure what the stoppage is. I didn't see a timeout signaled for Township. Okay, they reset the game clock, so we're now at 23 seconds left. 17-14, Township up by 3 points. Now Zach Burlingame could be somebody who could hit this ball from decently far out as a kicker. I definitely wouldn't put it past him, but Kingsway will have to hug the sidelines if that ends up being the case, because they might run out of time. They move with 3 receivers to the right. Orovets. Ball is tipped up, and it's incomplete. Nobody there. Intended receiver was Christian White, and they now have 17 seconds left. It looks like Orovets might just try to keep the ball in the air for the sake of clock preservation. Burlingame, the 6'4" kicker, is 0 for 2 on field goal attempts this year, but he's 23 for 25 in extra points. In his career, he's 8 for 14 on field goals, and his longest has been 35 yards. So Luke Sheets might have him beat in that category, but if it means tying the game up at halftime, it may be a situation where Kingsway may want to press their luck. I mean, right now they're at the 23-yard line. Back up the kicker 10 yards. You'd have a 33-yard attempt. I wouldn't say it's entirely bogus. Orovets, 15 seconds left. Line was able to hold up in time for Johnson to get to the sideline, and only 3 seconds were taken off the board that time. A quick catch and release, 12.7 on the board. And they are inside the red zone with that gain. They're at the 18-yard line. I don't know if they're doing these short gains to prepare for a field goal, because Burlingame has not made any this year, and he hasn't attempted any field goals in four games. He attempted one in a 20-7 win over Donovan Catholic in week 0, the Griffins, and attempted one in week 2 in a 36-21 win over Timber Creek. So those missed field goals did not make an impact in those 2 games. But 23 for 25 in extra point attempts this year. He definitely is electric from short range. And now we've got whistles prior to the snap, and this would probably be a false start. False delay of game. Still counts the same. And it's a 5-yard penalty that knocks them back as Johnson's catch pretty much negated after the 5-yard gain. We're back to the 23, 13 seconds on the board. 3-point game, 17-14. Kingsway looking for a last stand before the break. If you remember, Washington Township lost the toss, or excuse me, they won the toss, so they will receive to start the second half, which, whether it's a 3-point lead or a 0-point lead, it's going to be a fun start to the second half when we come back in 15, 20 minutes. Orovets, play action. Liner over the middle, and it's caught. Touchdown, Dragons. Mason Bryan. Heroics for the visitors in the closing seconds as the Dragons breathing fire on a chilly Friday night. And it's 20-17. Kingsway back in front on the road.
Beautiful.
Well, they didn't need to worry about a field goal, Chase. They didn't have to worry about one.
That was just beautiful. Perfect throw, right on the money. Great route, finds himself in the middle of the end zone, splitting. It looked like 2 defenders, and he just hauls that ball in. What a way to end this first half.
There is a flag. The PAT is good, but this may be coming back for something. Referees.
Look, it was something on Washington, so it looks like it'll count. Both teams running off.
Yeah, both teams are running off the field. That's a sign that this is a Minutemen penalty. Trying to figure out what this is all about. If the kind referee will turn his back. Here we go. Again, donning the pink flag for October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Personal foul on Washington Township. So the PAT is good, and that will apply 15 yards to the kickoff with 7.5 seconds left. Man, I love this. What a game so far. 21-17 on a Friday night in a game to decide the division, or at least I should say presumably decide the division, because you do really never know in some situations, but I'm looking at the Classic division, and they've got it. It's Township or Kingsway. Whoever wins tonight is going to win it. In fact, they are the only 2 teams in the division with an over 500 record. Township obviously 7-0, Kingsway at 6-1. This is going to be kicked off all the way from the opposite 45. But Delsea at 3-4, Timber Creek at 2-5, and Williamstown at 3-4. And this division only having 5 teams is why it's why these 2 teams have only played 2 divisional games so far. Burlingame might have the easiest touchback of his career right here. This is up. And I think it went through the goalposts. Oh, my goodness. Zach Burlingame showing off the boot, and Washington Township will have 7.5 seconds left. And it's so hard to believe that despite David Orovets throwing 3 interceptions, that Kingsway is going to go into the half with the lead. Such a turn of events, and it's such a turn of the ethos where you think to yourself, okay, 3 interceptions for a guy that's only thrown 3 picks this year, how are they winning? It rocks with your whole mindset, and it looks like that Aquino and friends will go into the kneel, and that will end the first half. Well, I said at the end of the first quarter that you want to cook your popcorn. You want to heat up your pizza. And you've got about 15 more minutes to keep on doing that, because we've got an electric first half down and a second half of 24 minutes in the Classic Division, and what is going to be the battle for the Classic Division on the way. It's the Dragons 21 and the Minutemen 17. We'll take a break, and we'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting halftime show.
Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place, and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field. To end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Little pop-up, first base side, he calls for it, and for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3, Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish! And Shalleck will pull sex in the Blue Jays when the weekend turns around to Monday.
Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable 1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series.
When he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction, he said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0.
Two minutes remaining.
Literally, they've been here twice, and they're about to score, or on the doorstep of scoring 50 for the second game in a row. Xavier Terry Brown. He is still on his feet. He's being shoved forward into the end zone. But who's got the ball? Look at Jason Solomon. The ball magically appeared in Woodbury's hands, and now they're back at the 50. This one's going back. This one's going to go to the distance. I don't see any flags. Did that just go for 100 yards? I think it did. I do not see any flags as Woodbury. Oh my goodness, Jason Solomon have a day. He is the first man not named Taylor to score. Wow, that was good. He's donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop it. It's going to go to the outfield wall. One run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game. A 3-run inside the Parker to the 2. Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. Will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game 1. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0. And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play, the force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play. Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a .400 average
in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, .331 career mark and a .430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0.
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game.
BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top for the first.
And it gets past everybody. Graham will go back to position with no goal scored. They'll count down the time out loud here. Out to the left. One final shot, and it gets through. How about a buzzer beater? How do you do? It's a lead extending goal for Justin Lewis. Jeplite, you know, he's, again, one time leaving the bases loaded is frustrating enough. Doing it twice in a row. Oh, how about this? Line drive. They're going to. No, he's throwing it around the infield. They're going to throw him out at first. He's out. I have never seen that before. That is a 5-4-3 ground out because the third baseman thought he caught it. The home plate umpire said no, so he threw it around the infield and then got the out at first anyway because the batter thought he was out.
The batter stopped. The third baseman
Everybody
thought he caught
stopped.
it, and it touched.
So after the holding call to be 1st and 20, as now rolling out to the right side, he's got a little bit of room to run on a QB rush. He's going to get a first down. There's no flags, and how about this for 61 yards? Anthony Gaetano with a QB rush that works to perfection. He hugs the sideline, and Anthony Gaetano gets the scoring started for the Red Hawks at 7-6.
Welcome back. This is the moment that a lot of you have been waiting for, or maybe some of you didn't hear about, but now you're going to be indulged in it anyway. This is the night where we reveal the fan vote options. We did it last year in Week 7 of the season. I forget where we were. I think we were at Kingsway, actually, for this very game. And every year, last day of the regular season, the last Friday night of the regular season, we let the fans decide. First of all, the voting will be conducted across 2 polls on X/Twitter and Instagram. That will open at noon on Sunday, and voting will close 24 hours later. So with that being said, or I think I can make it 48 hours. We haven't decided that yet. But either way, voting will open at 12 noon on Sunday. We're going to unveil the 4 games that you'll be choosing this year, and I have good news that regardless of which side you're on, there's going to be some representation for you. First game that will be selected. I feel like I'm what's it called? Pat Sajak pulling out of the hat. Our first game will be right here in Washington Township. 2-5 Timber Creek versus 7-0 Washington Township. We'll see how Washington Township pulls out of this one tonight, if they do at all. But this is going to be a great game between Timber Creek, who came up short versus Camden last week. It's going to be a fun one. The second game, and the second for our Kingsway friends, will be versus Williamstown. Williamstown's had some big wins this year. They knocked off Cherokee. They knocked off Rancocas Valley. They have had some fantastic wins this year. And even though if Kingsway doesn't win this week, I think they're going to have a good final regular season game in the top 8 of South Jersey Group 5 versus Williamstown. Game 3 will be a small Group 1 matchup in Camden County between the Pennsville Eagles and the Collingswood Panthers. We saw Collingswood earlier this year. They won 27-20 versus Clayton. They've had some really good plays this year with guys like Elgin Baylor Jr., John Antrilli, the quarterback for 9th-year head coach Mike McEwen. And then game number 4 will be Pleasantville, a Group 4, mind you, out of Atlantic County, facing off against the Gloucester Lions. We have not seen Gloucester yet this year. It feels almost abnormal that we haven't seen them yet this year, but those are your 4 options for the fan vote game. Now, we are going to have a very quick recap because we have to turn this camera around already. They already used up their time on the field. There's Washington Township TV to our left, represented tonight. And, well, we're going to have the second half of football going on. Kingsway will receive the opening kick. Well, Chase, I'll just make this short before we go. Your thoughts on the first half?
It's been incredible. I've only done 2 games. This is my second game. Great introduction.
With us, at least.
With Dan Wilkins, of course. I haven't been too involved in the football scene for New Jersey high school, and these have been 2 great games. I would say the 2 standouts, it's definitely been Cole Aquino. He's been huge for Washington Township and their offense.
Oh, hold on here.
Oh,
Kingsway's got room. Kick return's going to go all the way. No flag spotted. And Kingsway, hello. Kick return, touchdown. Mason Bryan.
You got to be kidding me. That's the guy who I was going to circle.
I don't see any flags. I do not see any flags on any sector of the field. A 90-yard kick return. And the Dragons lead this one 27-17. Unbelievable kick return.
That's the guy who I was going to circle and talk about next, just after Aquino. Mason Bryan, who's been all over in this first half, just takes the words right out of my mouth. He just takes it 90 yards on the first play of the second half. Incredible.
Hold on, we got flags prior to the kick. I just can't believe that. That's the first kickoff return we've seen this year.
What a game to do it. It's been incredible so far.
Offside on Township.
It's been incredible so far. If you're just joining us now and that's the first play of the game that you've seen.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're coming back from the halftime break, if you had a late jump, I was going to say you've missed a whole lot. Mason Bryan, 90-yard kick return. The offside on Washington Township means half the distance, which doesn't mean a whole lot in the PAT world, but Orovets holds. Snap low. Oh, it's botched. Orovets falls on it, and that's just the 3rd PAT missed. And Chase, you saw a flag?
I saw a flag fly out from the backfield.
So this might be coming back again with another flag down. I mean, that snap was really low. It's going to be a personal foul against Washington Township. Now it's going to be, well, the PAT was no good. Orovets had to scramble and fall on it. So what's the deal now? I mean, you have a personal foul. You can't, I mean, half the distance is like a foot at this point. You're just inching the ball forward. And
we
now
saw
they're switching personnel. Burlingame's coming off. They're going to try to go for 2.
Yeah, good idea. You saw
take advantage of it. Take advantage of the little gain that you're going to get.
If you were with us in the first half, there was a moment where Washington Township had a tush-push moment to try and get a first down. Now this is just straight out of the Eagles playbook on the half the distance to the goal.
Look at how close they are here. They are nestled right on the goal line. Township trying not to jump. Handoff up the middle for 2. It is good. Successful 2-point conversion for Kingsway. And they make it 29-17 here in the third quarter. Kickoff return. We'll load up that replay in just a second, but my. Just what a way to start for Mason Bryan. And that's a good way to come out of that halftime break as well. I mean, Kingsway taking the lead and then receiving the second half kick. I mean, there was some authority in that kick return. Found a way to get through, found a way to make a couple men miss. And most kick returns that we see these days are mostly just finding 1 or 2 blockers and hugging the sideline. But in this situation, it was a lot different. Bryan found space right through the middle here. He picks it up. That is at the 10, so it is a 90-yard return. You can see Bryan here cuts to his left, and you can see, look at that block there from Kingsway. That was number 42, Dom Pitts, and then by that point he's gone. He's not even at the 40-yard line, and there's nobody near him. Not a chance. And Washington Township just didn't have any answer, and that was a 90-yard return, Mason Bryan. This will be kicked off from the 40 with Township now trailing by 12 in what has been a silencer for the home crowd on their own homecoming night in front of a sellout crowd on this Friday at Tom Brown Field. Burlingame, powerful kick. This one's going to bounce, and Paris Pratt will not challenge. That will be a touchback, and Township starts from the 20. Well, Township just got a kick in the gut right there. They kind of got everything that they would have wanted to not go against them happen. It happened. Kick return, touchdown. It's one thing if you allow bad field position on a kick return, but allowing 7 points, and in this case 8 points, really is a demoralizing feeling. What's Township got to do to respond?
You know, they got a steep hill to climb. It was already steep coming out of the halftime break, down by 4. Now allowing that 2-point conversion, especially after that 90-yard touchdown return there. Hold on, I'm trying to see what the referees are saying first before I continue. They're trying to find a football that's inflated. No deflate gate in high school.
We're not in New England.
We're not here. Here we go.
Although next week it might feel like we're in New England. Temperatures getting down to the mid-50s.
But yeah, they just have to step up offensively. I was talking about no risk-taking at the end of that second quarter, which I was shut up about and then took that risk. They got to take more. They got to start throwing it deep like Aquino has been really doing amazing.
Does roll it out left side. It is a high pass, incomplete. Intended receiver flying through the air that time with Paris Pratt. 2nd down and 10 for the Minutemen. You're watching coverage of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting South Jersey Group 5 football here on DWB. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. Also, make sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page. You have to be a subscriber to comment on our YouTube videos, as here comes a rush. Should be enough for a first down. Colin Beeler breaking through. But yes, please like, subscribe, share this with your family. No matter where you may be, we've always got great high school football here this weekend. And, of course, now that you've seen the halftime break, you now get to decide where we go next week. And we have an injured player. Can't tell. It's a Kingsway guy on the far side. As, again, 29-17, less than a minute gone in the first quarter. This broadcast is brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, premier sports photography right in your backyard. Visit grayfoxsports.net or Gray Fox Sports on Instagram for more information. And this broadcast is also brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, just 15 minutes from Washington Township at 614 Lambs Road. 1st and 10, Washington Township. And a big wrap-up in the backfield that time. Carry was made by Paul Dombrowski, and the tackle was made by number 55, Jordan Hernandez, the senior defensive tackle. That's a loss of 3. 2nd and 13 for the Minutemen, with 10:50 and counting in the third quarter. Township really got wrapped up that time. Incompletion, and then, well, they got the first down on the last play, but then that 3-yard rush. Oh, hold on here. Aquino pump faked, now immersing himself in the hodgepodge of the both offensive and defensive lines. He's not going to get very far. And again, with these two teams being as highly ranked, as highly touted as they are, both top 20 in the state, and both top 8, meaning they would get a home playoff game in the South brackets. Kingsway at this time is 6th. They're 6-1. Washington Township has a 2-point lead on Atlantic City. Their OSI is 67.59. Atlantic City is 65.66. 3rd and long. 3rd and 15. Here comes a bomb down the sideline. It is caught. How many acrobatic plays will Washington Township make tonight?
Oh, he was pushed out of bounds, though.
Oh, boy.
No.
Jair Moore, style points on that one, but it's for no good.
That's the
it's
second
for
time.
not.
That's the second time that's happened tonight. That same, it looked kind of like deja vu. Same spot on the field, same giant throw, and the Kingsway defense just does enough to push him out of bounds. If you're Kingsway defense, this is just how you want to start off this second half. That's sure to be close, sure to be a great one. And starting it off with the 3-and-out is definitely huge.
2 returners back to receive the punt. Working through traffic, Johnson's going to be the one to call for a fair catch. He dove for it, and he will pick up a fair catch at the 35. If you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, all commercials you saw today, oh, and a flag came in from way back there. That was the head ref who threw his flag about 20 feet in the air. So you got to imagine this is something personal or unsportsmanlike.
I mean, it looked like Township was the only team out there on the field still, so.
Maybe something was said. Yeah, it's unsportsmanlike against Township. You cannot have those mistakes. I don't care what side you're on. This game is going to get emotional. This game is going to get physical. At some junctures, it may even get, dare I say, might get, a little bit chippy. You don't like to see it, but it's going to happen. It's Kingsway and Washington Township, for crying out loud. You know, it's not like the Phillies are playing the Texas Rangers on a Tuesday afternoon. This is Friday Night Lights, biggest game of the year. Kingsway could easily, and I mean easily, improve their playoff standing if they win today. And they're right now on a great path to it with a 12-point lead after scoring 8 on the kickoff return by Mason Bryan. Rush goes back to the line of scrimmage at the 50. Again, top 4 in South Jersey Group 5. Township at 7-0. Atlantic City at 6-1. Sayreville in 7th at 7-0. Southern in 4th at 7-0. Rancocas Valley, who Township beat last week, 38-17. They're in 5th at 4-3. Kingsway's at 6-1, and then 7-8. The last 2 with home playoff spots are Old Bridge and Williamstown. And then 9th is Cherry Hill East, who we covered last night. Look out! There's a whole bunch of stuff going on the sideline. Cole DeNick got forced out and got propelled into the Township sideline. No flags are called there because nothing was escalated from there. But that was a close one. Again, in a game like this, the referees will definitely have to be very quick with stopping the play when it comes to forward progress. As soon as forward progress stops being established and the runners go the other way, you have to whistle that dead. And I'm sure that they've done a great job of it. I can barely even hear the whistles with how loud it is here in Township. But you've got to imagine that's going to be something they're going to have to focus on. Oravets with a pass complete over the middle to Mason Bryan, definitely a contender for player of the game honors tonight. An interception, a kickoff return, and has had several great catches tonight. This one on the slant, or on the curl. And now timeout official timeout, and we've got another Kingsway player down. Stretching out his leg for a cramp. Thought cramp week was over in September, Chase.
In a big game like this, I mean,
gotta stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
We're staying hydrated in the press box. You got to stay hydrated. I mean, listen, they are in about 100 times better shape than I am. Let's go over the rest of South Jersey Group 5 OSI. East, Cherry Hill East, who we covered last night, they improved to 8-0 with a 42-0 win over Deptford. They are in 9th. They are the last team not to have a home playoff game, so you got to imagine they might play Williamstown in that regard. 10 through 12 is Cherokee, Eastern, and Hillsborough. Right now, Hillsborough is up 21-0 at the half over Piscataway. Or no, Piscataway is up 21-0 on Hillsborough. I apologize. Our good friends at HSG Network are covering that game. It's Toms River North in 13th, Freehold Township in 14th, Howell in 15th, Bridgeton in 16th, and then the last 4 teams that are out are 100. Circuit. And again, top 16 make the playoffs. Now, something like a Group 3 only has 28 teams. Pretty sure Group 1 only has they've got a full group. They've got 32. You can only have 32 maximum to a group because they're a super group, basically. In every other sport, you take 16 teams. You have South, Central, North 1, North 2. And then in this, you take a South and Central supergroup, which is how you get matchups like Millville and Red Bank Regional or whatnot, Point Pleasant Beach and Glassboro, where teams are traveling over an hour and a half. You get this supergroup of South and Central. Top 16 of that group make the playoffs, and then it's divided into those 16 brackets. 8 of them make the South bracket, 8 of them make the Central bracket, regardless of geography. Looked like a nose tackle jumped for Township there. And it is actually a full start against Kingsway. 1st and 15. Proved me wrong. Proved me wrong indeed.
It's all right. I've been proven wrong a lot tonight, as well as a couple of other broadcasts. That's pretty funny. Getting proven wrong. That's still caught up in my mind. I told him not to take any risks in that second quarter with Washington Township, and just chucked it right down the field and got that PI that sent him into field goal range.
1st and 15. Orovets working with traffic here. Deep in the shotgun, rolls out to the right. O-line not holding. Throw is incomplete. Looked like Paris Pratt was the closest one to it, the defensive back. So that will be 2nd and 15 now after the false start. Still 7:35 left in the third quarter. And again, this is going to be a game where it will come down to who makes less mistakes, because there have been a lot of mistakes made. You talk about the face masks, the personal fouls. A lot of personal fouls tonight. This game is personal for what it's worth. These kids, they don't grow up far from each other. You know, they grow up in similar neighborhoods. They grow up in similar situations. As this one, he almost got wrapped up. He is wrapped up back behind the line of scrimmage, but a flag comes in. The rush by Denick, tackle made by number 59, Tyler Alisea. But a flag came in at the tail end of the tackle. Let's see here. Again, a big tackle from 59, a nose tackle Alisea. It's going to be another face mask against Township. You can hear the disagreement there. I personally didn't see it, but we also don't have a great angle. It's an automatic first down, Kingsway. So I think, again, would have been against Alisea, number 59, who came in with a good tackle, but that's at least the 2nd or 3rd face mask we've seen against Washington Township tonight. Cannot make those mistakes. Not at this point in the game. This is the jeopardy of an undefeated season coming your way. You won this game on the road by 15 last year with most of the same core, including Cole Aquino, coming back for a swan song year as a senior. Cannot make those mistakes. They're working on the chains. I don't know.
Where are they going?
Where are they going on this one? They're going backwards.
Other way, guys. Other way.
Other way, other way, other way. Where are they going? Kingsway's confused. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You can see, okay, now you got it. They literally took the chains in the opposite direction.
Well, the ball's placed all the way up there.
The ball's placed at what, the 20, no, the 30?
Yeah, they're all standing around it. I don't really know what's going on. They're moving.
Oh my gosh.
Left, right, coming together, going apart.
It's a conga line.
They figure it out? I think they did.
Well, now it's, so I guess it's not an, I don't think it's an automatic first down because of how far back Kingsway was. So it's going to be second and short. Still 7:30 left in the third quarter. He's got a long way to go. He's not going to get it. Big tackle there. Number 10, Jalen Robinson, who had the first score for Township, the first touchdown for Township that knocks him back 2 yards. There's a little bit of wind coming in here left to right towards the press, towards the press box. Again, Kingsway up 29-17. Both of these teams eligible for the fan vote game. Williamstown next week for Kingsway. Timber Creek. Timber Creek versus Township, Williamstown versus Kingsway, and then two small schools, Pennsville and Collingswood, and then Pleasantville at Gloucester for the last matchup. Listen, all four matchups got at least one team over 500. Should be a really good fan vote weekend. Make sure to vote when it comes out on Sunday. Orovets takes it himself on third and short. Referees call fourth down. They're going to be about 1.5 yards short. 4th and 2. Line to gain is to 29. Orovets and company talking it over. Huge spot for the Dragons. This game is not yet over. It won't be over for a long time because Washington Township can pull off that Minutemen wizardry not seen by many before them. But now they've got 2 yards to try to avoid a turnover on downs. Here comes the rush over the middle. It looks short. Let's see where they call it. Referees try to break up the pile here. I don't know. Look at where this line to gain is, where everybody is. Referee standing on top of the ball.
Turnover.
Turnover.
That is huge.
Massive. Washington Township stands on business and gets a turnover on downs. And with 5:41 left in the third quarter, just such a great stop there by Washington Township. I don't know if I agree with them sending it to Orovets, though. I mean, he's a great runner. He's definitely not your prototypical runner. He's 6'3", 225. He definitely has, from the naked eye, the archetype of a pocket passer, but we've seen his rushing ability tonight. They hand it off. Beeler, left side, on his feet, wrestled to the ground. Tackle made by number 27, Tommy Gardler. They got a good 8 or 9 yards that time. They will spot them 1.5 yards short. In between the 37 and 38. Line to gain is at the 39. So again, yeah, about a second and 1, 2nd and 2-ish. Still on Township side of the field after forcing a turnover. Beeler's going to get a first down and then some. He splits through the middle. He's on his feet and he gets tripped up at the 36. First down, Washington. Colin Beeler going back to his old ways and showing why he's the Minutemen's leading rusher with a big gain of 20. First down. First and 10 for the Minutemen. Hand off to Robinson. He escapes a tackle. Mason Bryan looked like he came up with it that time. And that will be a first down, Minutemen able to move the sticks.
This is what they need. This is what this offense needs. Down by 12. They need this quick sort of drives to go in their favor, and this is just what is happening. Beeler putting it into motion. Robinson with that handoff there. He's putting this drive way into motion.
1st and 10, 9 yards away from the red zone, 29 away from the end zone. Wrapped up, J.D. Johnson gets him down. Kind of hard to tell through the Township sideline. They got 4 yards, but Township's moving. They are putting Kingsway in danger here, especially after the whole place kind of went silent. 90-yard kick return by Mason Bryan, and then an 8-point drive in total on the first play of the second half. Now a rush on 2nd and mid-range, not getting too far there. I like the fact that Aquino and Schatzman and company are keeping the ball on the ground. I think in this situation you can't be too risky. You're down by 12 points. It's not like at the end of the first half where they were leading. In this case, they're not. They're down by 2 possessions after being down by 4 points at the end of the half. But we haven't seen any scoring since that pivotal kick return by Bryan. Set a man in motion, that's Forte. They pass it off to Forte, he's got it, cuts to the left, and he's wrestled to the ground at around the 15-yard line. It is a gain of 15, and not that much of a gain. It's gonna be a gain of about 7, but it's good for a first down. This is why I'm a sports broadcaster and not a mathematician. It's 1st and 10. They're lining this one up from the 14-yard line now. Under 3 minutes in the quarter. Robinson, again diving forward there in the midst of a pile. Osborne was on the carry, my apologies. 29-17. Kingsway up by 12. They led at the half, 21-17. Mason Bryan brought the visiting bleachers to its feet with a 90-yard kick return to open up the second half. No scoring since. With the Township front line, the student section to our left, they have been on their feet all night. Still on his feet is the Washington Township rusher, who on 2nd and 6 gets about 4.
It was Anthony Forte and Aquino who kind of had a little mix-up there. One just kept control of the ball. The other one still kept trying to reach for it, but it worked out for a gain of 4. They just need 2 now.
Just 2 to get to the first down, and after that it will be 1st and goal. Beeler wrapped up. Looked like number 55, Jordan Hernandez, the senior defensive tackle, comes up with it. It's 4th down. Do you try to cut the lead to 9 with a field goal from Luke Sheets? This would be a 28-yard attempt. No, it would be, where are they? They're at the 9.
They're keeping Aquino out there.
Yeah, it'll be about a 29-yard attempt.
They're going to go for it.
They will go for it.
Risky, this is what they need.
Again, Sheets not as prolific of a field goal. I mean, he's a field goal kicker, but definitely has the edge over Burlingame in that sense. Where Burlingame is 5 for 8 in his career with field goals. It's caught. Good call, Mike Schatzman there at the goal line. Catch made by number 32.
It's Elliott Selbert.
Elliott Siebert there. Now they're at the goal line. Hurry up offense. Under a minute left in the quarter. They are on the goal line, nearly standing on top of 6 points. The rush, the score. Cole Aquino hands it off, and the touchdown for Washington Township. The cannons sound and thunder the bleachers. It's a one-score game, 29-23. Some late heroics in the third quarter. As a 1-yard rush, Cole Aquino with the handoff, the score by Colin Beeler. 6-point game, could be down to 5. This one's up, away, and good. This has been a great night, and it's only going to get better. We've got 13 minutes of football, a minute in the third, 12 more in the fourth, and who knows what's going to happen from there. It's 29-24. We'll be right back. 5-point game, 50.7 on the clock. Folks, we've set a record, and it's all because of you. 425 concurrent viewers. That's a DWB record. The previous was 385 in a semifinal playoff game between Woodbury and Pittman last year. I'm incredibly grateful for your support. And thank you very much for supporting us on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Sheets with a low kick, I guess overprotective there to avoid a kickoff return 2.0. Township wanted a flag somewhere.
Yeah, Luke Sheets at the end of that play, looks like he got thrown. It might have been a little bit of soccer in him. Might have dove a little bit. I wasn't too sure. Kind of looked like he flew, but the defender left the scene just in time. There's no flag.
So no flag on the play. 45 seconds left. If you're curious, Washington Township set the original record, I think it was at 3:07 in last year's semifinal playoff game versus Cherry Hill East, a game that they won 35-7. So you guys are, Washington Township and Kingsway, we need to keep coming back because you guys are rocking it. This one's at the line of scrimmage, trying to barrel it forward. Catch was made.
It's Mason Bryan again. He's been all over.
Just can't stop him. I mean, again, we didn't hear much of him early on. He wasn't a name that we circled in our pregame open. Maybe it's a name in hindsight that we should have because he has done it all. Kick return, interception. He's now up to 5 receptions on the night, and they're going to walk off the field here with 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. They will not get another play, as it is a fourth quarter that you'll want to remember here on DWB. It's the Dragons 29, the Minutemen 24. 12 more minutes of football here from Washington Township. We'll be right back. Fourth quarter ready to go. 29-24. Kingsway up by 5 points. Oravets dropping back. Oh, that is tipped. Oh, that was so close. Intended for Mason Bryan, and he almost had a cardinal sin there. An out-of-town score coming in. Holy Spirit leads Ocean City 42-zip with 8 minutes to go in the fourth. And at halftime, Gateway taking the rails off of Mastery Camden 40-6 at half. So they'll have a running clock, but we will not in Washington Township tonight. This will be a great, great, great fourth quarter. Third and 7. Cowbells ringing. Feel like we're back in Saturday Night Live. We need more cowbell. Myers, or rather Bryan, in motion. Now Oravets, he's in trouble. Dumps it off. It's caught by Denick. The size from the home crowd as he goes to the right side. He's got enough, and it's a first down. Kingsway. That was a big break there. You felt the home crowd go from 100 to 0 really quick there. As a gain of about, looked like about 10 to 15 yards. And they're now lined up in enemy territory from the 45. First down. That is huge.
That was huge, Dan. 3 linemen going and rushing. Going in and rushing. He just dumped it off to Denick just in time. And he just does what Denick has been doing all game long.
I mean, I don't know if that was a design play as in a screen or what, but Orovets really, really smart for dumping that ball off. Bryan on the catch. Tackled by number 2, Jair Moore. He'll get about 5 yards down at the 40. Second and mid-range for Kingsway. By the way, going to the fourth quarter in Williamstown. Actually, we have a final from Williamstown, a low-scoring affair, and that is in the Classic Division, so it is 13-7. Delsey beat Williamstown. So a roller coaster season for Williamstown will come to a head at Kingsway next week. And that brings Williamstown to 3-5, Delsey to 4-4 under second-year head coach Jason Foley, who took over for the retiring Sal Marchese. Johnson in motion. They hand it off to Danick on 2nd and 6, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain, no loss, but no gain basically feels like a loss at this point. You were up by 12 points. You're now up by 5 with 10 minutes to play. It's not going to be easy by any means. Don't forget, tomorrow morning we've got South Jersey Group 1 football between the West Deptford Eagles and the Paulsboro Red Raiders from Glenn Howard Stadium in Paulsboro, the newly named Glenn Howard Stadium in Paulsboro. 6-1 versus 7-0. I wonder if there's another game that's 6-1 versus 7-0. Oh yeah, it's the one right in front of us. Under 10 minutes to play. This crowd, loud, shaking. Orovets, no, a flag comes in.
On Kingsway, it looks
like a false start. No, delay of game. That's the second time they've been hit with that. I mean, there's really no place in South Jersey that displays the play clock. It's kept on the field. The only exception is Buna. That's the only field that I've seen in South Jersey that keeps their time on the, they keep the play clock and the game clock both prominently displayed on the scoreboard. In this situation, though, the refs count it off, and they make it obvious. They wave their hand in the air. They go 10, 9, 8, and you got to get it off before you go to 0. That's a big mistake, and that could really, really hamper this drive for David Orovets and company. Backed up to the 47, 46 rather, 3rd and 10. Orovets looking through. It's a high pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for the wide receiver, number 81, Danny Zarabowski, the junior. Up by 4. How safe do you want to play this?
I mean, it looks like Orovets is going to go to the side to get a play call. The offense is staying out here.
I'm just saying, if you were the head coach, how safe would you play this? I mean, they're bringing out the punt team now. Okay,
there you go.
So then, point void.
I would have said what was going to happen anyway. I would have brought out the punt team.
I mean, I saw Orovets on the side. Thought maybe they were going to try to go for it, but
this could look like a fake punt.
Yeah, look at those 3 linemen in the back. This will be a standard punt. Fooled us. It's going to roll out. It's going to bounce high at the 10. Now Pratt's going to have a return. He'll get leveled right around the 10, 11, or 12-yard line. Paris Pratt didn't get the best return, but Washington Township's got to have a good drive here. You can make this the last drive of the game if you play your cards right. I wouldn't advise it, or I wouldn't even think that it's likely. Because, you know, I call them Group 1 drives. They take 8, 9, 10 minutes off the board, and it's just rush, rush, pass if you need to, rush, rush, rush. You run the football. I mean, you know, we're not talking about an Army-style triple option here, but we're talking about the difference between, I mean, they could lose the number 1 seed in South Jersey Group 5, which they had last year. They could lose it if they do not win this game at Tom Brown Field tonight. Aquino with a pass. Ooh, that looked like it might have been tipped by the defensive lineman. That was a low-hanging throw. Jordan Hernandez might have had a way in it. Paris Pratt was the intended receiver, and it's 2nd and 10 from the 13-yard line. It's a long one tonight here in Washington Township, just past 9:15. Handoff to Beeler. Hold on here. Some shoves at the tail end of the play. again, with how loud it is here, Township's band, Kingsway's band, Kingsway's cheerleaders, Township's cheerleaders, not to mention the millions of cowbells in the grandstands tonight. It is not easy to hear. I can't even hear the whistles on the field. But Kingsway's band still playing on, I'll tell you that much. I praised their pep band when I saw them versus Delsey. They played a near-perfect cover of Rush's YYZ and the famous drum solo by Neil Peart. But these high school bands, especially in big schools, big environments, they bring such a sway, such an energy to the game that's unmatched. Aquino, high pass, incomplete, intended for number 32, Elliott Siebert. And now it'll be 4th and 4. I mean, if you turn it over here, Kingsway gets the ball back, and then you get another score down, and that's not going to be an easy hill to climb over. It's already not easy when you're inside your own 15 and you're down by 5. That gets, you know, I would say it gets definitely exacerbated if you get a turnover. But Township's playing it safe with 8 minutes left. This will be punted by number 28, Parker Reese. Took a little bit while to send it away. Christian White is the man back there. He's going to try to let this one backpedal here. And it's going to roll all the way to the 32-yard line, which is where Kingsway will start the drive. I mean, it's a good move. That was a great punt. Had a lot of spin on it, was able to get it backwards. I noticed it was kind of like a knuckler in the air. And then by the time it hit the ground, you probably got 10 to 15 yards of net gain after the bounce. I'm not exactly thrilled with Township's play calling on that drive because, again, you could have made that the last drive of the game if you played your cards right. But I felt like they were trying to pass it too much. Now, I can trust Oravets and Aquino. Both have near 70% pass completion rates. But Oravets has thrown 3 interceptions, hasn't thrown any in the second half. Meanwhile, Aquino has also thrown an interception, just his 3rd of the year. Both quarterbacks have thrown 4 interceptions, while both quarterbacks combined for 5 in the first 6 weeks. Flags, dirty laundry all over. Penalties have been just killing both teams. It's a false start on Kingsway. Again, join us tomorrow for South Jersey Group 1 football. I guess West Efford's a Group 2, but still, feels like a Group 1 versus Group 1 game. West Efford versus Paulsboro, 11 a.m. kickoff from Glenn Howard Stadium. Chase Barnes will be joining me on the color this time tomorrow morning. It's been a good one so far. I mean, I've been saying that like a broken record, but is it not true? 5-point game, 8 minutes left. I feel almost liberated after a 42-0 blowout last night. They ran trips left, and now Oravets has the carry. And he'll get about 4 yards, or actually he'll get about 10 yards because of the 5-yard false start. It'll be 2nd and 7. They're lined up from the 34. Line to gain is the 41, still in Kingsway territory there. I mean, this is one of the best weekends, one of the best back-to-backs that we're going to have in DWB in a long time. You know, I think I remember, no offense to some of the teams that I've covered in the last 2 years, but there were some where, you know, I was looking at the scores that we were covering, the games that we were covering, and I was like, man, I want to get better games someday. We got better games. This is the game that every media outlet has circled on their calendar. About 20 reporters are here from every single newspaper in the county, as here comes a rush. First down, Mason Bryan. Oh, but he's hurt after the play. He got all the way up to the 47, was able to get a gain of 21 yards. But Mason Bryan is down, and it looks like his tight end, Danny Berezowski, is going to attend to him with what looks like a cramp. Kingsway's athletic trainer is out, couldn't find their name on the roster. I apologize. Their team doctor, Team Dr. Ed Paroli, athletic trainer Robert Behrman. And again, next week on DWB, Monday, boys soccer in the BCSL between Pemberton and Pennsauken. Chase, I think you might be joining me for that one.
No, I'm joining you on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
At Deptford.
And Washington Township fans, you want to tune in on Wednesday. It's Washington Township at Deptford Boys Soccer, 4 p.m. from Deptford High School, from Corby Hawkins Stadium in Deptford, 4 o'clock. And then Thursday night football from Cinnaminson. Burlington Township at Cinnaminson, 6 p.m. kickoff. Friday is our fan vote game. We close out the regular season on Saturday, October 25th, with a Group 1 matchup, our 4th of 4, with our deal with Woodbury, as the Woodbury Thundering Herd looking to cap off the regular season with a win versus the Shallot Cougars. Both teams have kind of been going through a bit of a rebuild this year. Woodbury's quarterback, Nico Jimenez, started off the year as a wide receiver until they needed a quarterback in Week 1. Johnson in motion, 1st and 10, their lineup from the 49. Johnson's got room. Rather, Danick. Right side, he's inside the 10, he dives towards the pylon. He's in! Touchdown, Kingsway! An elated visitor side erupts from a volume that you can hear across the way at Tom Brown Field. 35-24. Dragons lead by 11. A 49-yard breakaway by Cole Danick, who picks up his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. And Washington Township, with a sellout crowd, folks that have been here since 5 o'clock for the Homecoming Spirit Parade, have now had some of the spirit sucked out of them. Burlingame, up, away, and good. Kingsway 36, Township 24. Let's take a quick break. 6:25 left in the 4th. Don't get much better than this, folks. 12-point lead for Kingsway. $36-24. If you're watching this and you'd like to make a contribution to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, near 500 of you. Oh my goodness, we're crushing records tonight. If you'd like to make a contribution, again, I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm a 19-year-old college student at Rowan College of South Jersey. We don't get paid by Kingsway or Washington Township to do this. All of our funding comes from advertisers and from contributors like you who make all of this possible. The Burlingame's got a touchback. If you'd like to make a contribution, we do have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting. No spaces, no hyphens. I'm not going to try to beat it into the ground, but again, we're all college students, all 3 of us, myself, Chase Parson, Chase Barnes. You know, we're all young kids trying to break through in the sportscasting industry, and we hope that you consider a contribution to help cover college funds, travel costs, equipment expenses. I mean, all of this equipment is so incredibly expensive. You know, if one of these pieces of equipment broke, I'd have to start eating Hot Pockets and Uncrustables for about a couple weeks. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Pretty good.
But I don't want the equipment to break. So, 6:25 left in the 4th. Trips right for the Minutemen. They trail by 12, which is where they started the second half after a 90-yard kick return by Mason Bryan. Aquino steps back, some confidence in the pocket. Now it's caught by Moore. Spinning around, tackled from behind. Looks like a combination of Gardler and Bryan were in on that one. In also Zahir Painter, who also, I should note, he is the nephew of Paulsboro's Gerald Hodges. So we've got a little bit of an inter-family connection between Paulsboro and Kingsway, right along the 295 corridor. Here's a rush. Beeler up the middle. First down was the result of that last play. They might get a yard, and that might be it. Again, time is of the essence because now you're down 2 possessions. That 49-yard rush really took the sails out of a lot of this.
Now you got to go. You just got to go, go, go.
Cannot waste time. This is where I'd be in favor of Aquino letting one fly, if he can find a man.
Speaking of.
Yeah, here we go. Downfield. It's up and it's caught. It is a reception down the far sideline for Paris Pratt. Gets a gain of 27 yards. He gets up to the 30-yard line. First down, Township.
You spoke it right into existence, Dan.
I guess I did.
That's what they needed. Exactly what they needed. They needed to take that risk, and it pays off. Paris Pratt, great throw by Cole Aquino.
They're at the 29, down by 12 points. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to go for 2 if they score, but we got to go step by step. Big rush. That was Beeler. It's a gain of 13. First down, Minutemen. What a night, guys. What a night. Kingsway up by 12 points. Washington Township looking to make things interesting for a final stand with 5 minutes left, but with how Kingsway runs their offense, it might just take a couple of first downs to end this thing. Rush, Beeler, last line of defense, took him down. They're inside the 7-yard line. Beeler with another rush of 11. He's gained 27 yards on the last 2 plays. Receivers getting quickly into motion here for Township. Trips right. Handoff. Beeler, 3 in a row. 3 is the magic number. And 3 times 2 brings you 6 for Colin Beeler. His second rushing touchdown of the game. And this one is back in contention with 4:35 to play. It's a high-scoring affair as it's been all night. 36-30, 66 combined points. Scoring on nearly every possession, scoring when it matters most as a low snap. Sheets up, away, and good. 5-point game, 36-31. Don't go anywhere. 4:21 left. You can already hear my voice starting to go. I've got 4 more quarters of football tomorrow in Paulsboro. Chase, you might have to bail me out tomorrow. We'll be right back. 36-31. (36-31), Kingsway on top by 5 points. 4:35 to play. The cowbells ring. Fans mostly standing here on a brisk 49-degree Friday night here in Washington Township. This is returned by Christian White. He's got some room. Kingsway's already got some returning luck tonight, but he is stopped hard at the 27-yard line, and now Kingsway.
There's a little bit of shoving down to the ground after the play. These two teams have done a very good job with stopping that chippiness and escalating anything any further.
It's gotten up to here, and then it's just stopped. It has not escalated past the point of where players are going to get thrown out, players are going to get flags. There's been a lot of personal fouls, but I think part of that comes down to the coaching. You know, these coaches are responsible for keeping their players in check, but also players are responsible for keeping others in check. Team leaders will make sure that players are not getting in others' faces. We've seen mostly, 95% of it, a cordial matchup between two teams with a combined record of 13-1. They fake. Orovets takes it himself. Tackle made for a gain of 2. A hodgepodge of blue and red in the backfield. And Orovets able to get a couple of yards that time. Township has all 3 timeouts, and so does Kingsway. But it's a 5-point game, and, well, Kingsway got their last score on a Coltonic 49-yard rush. So it's not entirely surprising if Kingsway is able to break free for a big gain. Orovets and company break from the huddle. 2nd and 8 at the 30-yard line. 70 yards to put this game in the history books. But not yet, right? They've got a pass to White. Over his head. Too much mustard on it. Incomplete. Jair Moore got the breakup. It was a standard incompletion, but good coverage by the Township defense. That kind of buys Township some time, though. I mean, as much as the pass would have been an electrifying moment if completed, there was a flag, maybe a hold. Ineligible man downfield. The penalty is declined. Should be a 5-yard, I'm pretty sure, for illegal man downfield. Listen to this crowd.
Loudest it's been all night. I can barely hear myself talk in his headset.
This feels like when you're playing college football 25 and the stadium pulse is through the roof. 3rd and 8. Orovets after the incompletion, dropping back, gets a pass.
Broken up.
Incomplete, or is it intercepted?
No, I think he broke it up.
I think he just broke it up.
Reacted like it was an interception.
Yeah, I mean.
Beautiful.
I mean, the press box is shaking beneath us. That's what you see on the camera. That's not an effect. That's not illegitimate. That is the actual grandstands and the press box shaking. Here's a punt. Burlingame.
Almost blocked.
That was almost blocked, but they're going to get really good yards here. It will roll out of bounds at the 35, and with 3:20 left, Washington Township with new life, down by 12, and looking for a way to put themselves in an absolutely incredible predicament if they can come back, and in what has been their most stressful game all year, looking to find a way to put this game in their hands. If you're just joining us, you've picked a great time. My name's Dan Wilkins. I am joined by Chase Parson on the call. Also joined by Chase Barnes on the production. So after a 3 and out, an incompletion, back-to-back incompletions by Orovets, one deep downfield to White and then one short on the sideline. That was a rush for 1.5, 2 yards. Whistles blown here. An official timeout. And there is a Kingsway player down. So that's number 59, Caden Hood. I just can't help but think how that drive would be different if Cole Denick had gotten a couple more touches. You have to be thinking in that situation. And I'm not even a big football guy. I'm not even somebody who will be in this, I'm never going to be a coach. I'm never going to be a player. Heck, I got pulled from a soccer game as a goalie because I was picking at the turf grass pedals. I'm not an athlete, but what I can tell you as an observer from the press box, as somebody who's seen Kingsway time and time again, who has seen Washington Township time and time again, they need to run the ball. Back-to-back incompletions, that's darn near inexcusable. You're up by 5 points. If Washington Township wins this game, replay that drive because that changes everything. Under 3 minutes to play. Aquino, line drive pass to Pratt, the tight end. He gets tripped up. Tackle by J.D. Johnson. They're going to get about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5. You just opened the door for Washington Township. And instead of creaking open the door, you've burst the whole door down. You've kicked it down. There's 3rd and 5. 2.5 minutes left in front of a sold-out crowd.
This play here is going to determine the game. A critical 3rd down upcoming.
Aquino steps back. Pass is caught, but he's got to get ahead of the line of scrimmage. He's running backwards, but he finds some space on the left side.
Oh, my goodness.
If he gets ahead here, he somehow salvages himself as the heart. I think he's about a yard short. The catch made by Darian Joyner. If he loses, where was he at that? The 33? he would have lost 7 yards if he was tackled there. But he saw the vision. He was able to get through, and it'll be fourth and 1, if not 4th and inches.
Here we go.
Let's listen in. Here we go. Diving forward. First down, Township. This game is alive. The cowbells ringing. The fans standing. Not a single one sitting in our vicinity. Not a single one on the sideline sitting. Township and Kingsway in an instant classic, replicated by few in the South Jersey scene. This is the game of the week for a reason. Pass on the left side. Jair Moore's got it. He breaks through. He's got space. He's got room. All the way, Washington Township. Wizardry in Washington. Jair Moore with a play to be replayed. There's a man down, but Jair Moore has played hero, and Township plays the cards. They hit the jackpot, and they lead it by 1 point, 37-36. The attention now turns to the downed player.
Incredible.
51 yards.
You cannot ask for anything more of your receivers in not a lot of time. There's just under 90 seconds.
Is that Aquino down? I don't want to zoom in too much. I can't see Aquino. I think he's the one down. Did he get hit as he threw, or maybe he went in as he was getting hit?
We got the replay. We're going to have to look at this play again.
That is not Aquino. That is Marcel Johnson, who was, I'm sorry, number 7, Paul Dombrowski, who was down. 37-36. 51 yards. Jair Moore. This game was down and out. Washington Township was down by 12 points. They were down by 5, and then Kingsway scored again. And now with 1:27 left in the most viewed game by concurrent viewers in Dan Wilkins Broadcasting history, they are going to take a gamble, and they're going to try to go up 3 points, 39-36. Aquino steps back, pass, caught, diving, forward, touchdown, it's 2 points. Paris Pratt standing tall like the Tower of Eiffel. An 8-point play. Elliott Siebert had the 2-point conversion. Listen to this crowd. For these seniors, for these moments, for games like these, this is broadcast number 601, and there will not be many that will be like this one. Let's take a look at the replay. I really just, this feels like eons ago, right? Passes it left side, got the catch, and then just look at this. Johnson, he goes head-to-head with one of those guys. Burlingame was in there as well, and then by that point he was gone. Look at that sideline. Look at this crowd. I got another game to call tomorrow, guys. This is unfair. Or maybe it is fair, because we've got an insane game tonight.
It's not
36-39, Washington Township.
It is not close to over. It's only a 3-point game. If they get into anywhere in field goal range,
they might try it with Burlingame, who has not made a field goal this year.
You're going to take risks. You got to take them now. If you want to step up, get your name out there, you got to make plays just like that.
With a home game in the South Jersey Group 5 playoffs on the line. This one is received by White on the right side. Oh, good juke move here. Kingsway is going to take themselves out of bounds. Christian White gets it up to the 25, and now Kingsway's got work to do. 3 points. As, man, sometimes get caught up in the moment. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be great 100% of the time. I mean, there's a reason why I'm not Al Michaels. I'm not Brian Anderson. I'm not Joe Buck. But what I'll tell you right now is that this game is going to be one to remember for a long time. They will say that he is out inside the 20. They're pretty far back here. They're at the 17. Jair Moore, a 51-yard touchdown, coming back from a torn ACL, able to play hero for the home crowd. Oravets dropping back, line holding up, but now he's got a pass. It's Bryan who gets it. That'll be a first down. It's a gain of 11. Plenty good for a first down for the Dragons. And they did go out of bounds. Now, Kingsway does have all 3 timeouts remaining, but how about the fact that during Township's also pivotal drive, they didn't have to use any of those timeouts. Only took about 4 minutes off the board from when they got it last. 1st and 10 at the 30. Good snap, handoff here. Diving forward is Denick. He'll get about 7 or 8 yards. He'll get it to the 37. This is the game of the year, folks. No doubt about it. 2nd and short. Kingsway driving, 50 seconds on the clock. Oravets pump fakes. He's in trouble. Got a man hitting him. That might be roughing the passer, but it's out of bounds. It is not roughing the passer because it was rough. I thought from where that angle was coming that might have been close if Oravets went down, but instead Oravets stayed up. On the pass rush that time, forcing him out was Tyler Alisea, who we've mentioned as a good defensive star for Washington Township earlier tonight.
Only 42 seconds left. Kingsway has the ball at their own 38-yard line. They need to go far down this field to get in the field goal range for Burlingame.
Again, Burlingame is 0 for 2 on field goal attempts, has not attempted one since week 2 versus Timber Creek. His longest in his career is 35. They would have to get inside the red zone for that to be a reality. Pass rush, Oravets on his feet, staying alive. Rolling out to the right side, he lines a pass to White, and he gets out of bounds. Catch, it looks like it's good. No, it's incomplete. Incomplete pass. That was a close call. Christian White disagrees with it. I can't really make an opinion on it with where our angle was, with the press box being a little bit low to the ground. I'm sure even Mark Hendricks would have a better angle than we do. He's had a bone to pick with these officials tonight. Part of it I can't blame him for. Listen to this crowd. 4th and 3. Timeout. And now timeout called by Kingsway. That's a great time to use one. You could feel almost an ambiance over the stadium. Time called, 32 seconds left. Kingsway burns their first. We'll take a quick break in just a moment. Mike Schatzman returns to the sideline. Kingsway burned their first timeout. This play will decide the game. I'm literally trying to hold the camera in my hand as the stands shake on 4th and short. Oravets takes it himself.
Thrilled.
I think it's going to be short. Washington Township emerges from the pile. And in incredible fashion, they will go home 8-0. Turnover on downs. And that effectively is the ball game. In front of a sellout crowd, occupying the grandstands since 5 o'clock tonight. They've been sitting here for nearly 5 hours in anticipation of a Minutemen win. Kingsway has played such a phenomenal game, and Washington Township will call a timeout and may give a serenade to this home crowd. There's hugging in the grandstands, there's jubilation, there's celebration, and Washington Township, the #1 seed by 2 points over Atlantic City in South Jersey Group 5, is going to go home 8-0. We'll stay here. Washington Township. Oh, microphone was a little bit loud that time. I apologize if I blew out your surround sound. Sellout crowd in Township. Over 2,500 folks in attendance here in Sewell. And a kneel. Hold on here. Never mind. Timeout, Kingsway.
Just prolonging it.
Yeah, well.
That's fine.
They would have a shot if they didn't call that one timeout.
You're right.
But, right? Hindsight is 20/20. I can't blame them. They wanted to call that timeout to really ease their nerves on 4th and 4. Victory formation for Washington Township. They'll have one timeout left. We'll see if they take it. They do. Again, Kingsway is just kind of delaying the inevitable here, but I can't really blame them. What a classic tonight. This might be the quickest addition to a DWB Classics playlist ever. We do have that on our page. If you want to scoop around while you're checking out our content, we do have the DWB Classics playlist, the best live streams ever that we have covered. Paris Pratt and Zaire Painter engaging in some sportsmanship before the tackle, before the kneel. There's another one. Okay, so that was Kingsway's last timeout.
Huh,
or that. We'll see here. Or did Township call that timeout? I don't know. It's 4th down. What's going on here? Are they going to punt? I mean,
might as well.
It's 4th down. There's 20 seconds left. I don't understand how there was
a stoppage.
Kingsway called that one timeout, right?
I believe so.
With 4th and I'm going to have to look at it, making sure Washington Township didn't call a timeout. Now Township is calling a timeout. I don't know what's happening. They just kneeled it 3 times, and we're still going. 20 seconds left. The game, I thought, was effectively over.
Well, the coach just got an answer. He went over and talked to the referee, who is still giving an answer.
Yeah, Mike Schatzman in the middle of that pile there with the Township players. I'm just confused because Washington Township called a timeout after a kneel, which forces 4th and long, and it forces them to punt. Refs are still whistling here, telling them to break up the timeout. You can see Kingsway is on the field. They're just telling them to go, go, go. I'm so confused here. Parker Reese is coming out. They're going to punt. Unless Kingsway had all 3 timeouts, I saw Washington Township call a timeout. They called 2 of them.
Maybe that slipped our minds. Never know.
Now
it's 4th down and they're punting the ball away.
I mean, they're punting the ball here after kneeling 3 times. High snap. Oh, that was rough.
There's no one back to receive.
There's no one back there.
So they're going to waste their time. That's a horrible idea.
I don't know what they're doing. They're taking 12 seconds off here.
Yeah.
They're trapped at the 15.
That's interesting. I feel like
Township did call a timeout. I confirm that. They did call a timeout. They have 1 remaining. Kingsway has none. I don't understand that. There's 8.6 on the board.
That was a horrendous idea. They saw the punt unit out. They saw the the punter all the way in the back, and they sent nobody back there to receive it.
Well, my heart sunk. I mean, again, as a neutral observer, when that snap went high, I was thinking to myself, oh no, because that imagine if that changed everything. Or imagine if Kingsway picks it up.
Well,
we've got a Hail Mary now.
Okay, let's see what they do here.
This game is not over. We've got one more play. 8 seconds left. We thought it was prolonging the inevitable, but now Kingsway's got a chance. They fire it off. Oh, but it's
Did he catch it? He caught it.
He did catch it. There's 2 seconds left. They're going to have to go back as soon as the ball is spotted. It's a clock running. 2.4. Clock running. They get it off in time. They did get it off in time. Pass. Caught. He flips it over. Now Bryant is on his feet, and now the game is over. Washington Township 8-0. They storm the field. A delayed ending, and the ball game ends in an instant thrilling classic. 39-36. Minutemen win.
What a game.
I don't understand how that last drive was even possible. But Washington Township escapes in their toughest game of the year, a game that they won by 29 points in 2023, by 15 points in 2024, and now by a skin of their teeth, 3 points. And remember that field goal in the first quarter? That changed everything. Kickers win championships, ladies and gentlemen, and Washington Township has the difference maker in a back-and-forth affair. The lead changed so many times between these two teams, you would not believe it. How do you describe, in the vernaculars of the English language, what just happened tonight? How?
You can't. Thank you. You too. God bless.
That was Washington Township TV.
We're still live. What's up? I didn't talk much. It was all Dan.
Listen, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right, so that was Washington Township TV. That was Washington Township TV. They were recording this game to the right of us. But let's not talk about ourselves. Let's not talk about any TV at this time. This was must-see TV.
This was TV, exactly.
This
Dan.
was maybe the greatest regular season game that we have ever covered, because not only do you break several viewership records with almost 650 viewers,
Cameron wants to turn back to the field.
Yeah, I don't
done.
blame it. It's got muscle memory. It wants to watch more football. But a game that was 2 hours and 54 minutes, a thriller in which Kingsway led in the second half by 12 points. I don't really know what to say. I don't have words for this game. You might have better words than I have.
Not much, Dan. Not much. I don't have much to add. My player of the game might be a little bit different than your player of the game, or we might agree. But my player of the game is Washington Township senior Jair Moore. Just that play alone, as the camera keeps
again, the camera wants to watch more football.
Wants to watch more Jair Moore.
I know.
It's amazing.
No,
that play alone just won him the player of the game, in my opinion, Dan. I don't know about you. Do you have the same player of the game? Do you have a different one?
Well, I will give Jair Moore his props. He coming back from a torn ACL, never easy. But to come up in that moment, 51-yard rushing touchdown, I mean, it's insane. Colin Beeler, I think, might be a player that I would circle for that. But there were so many huge contributors in this game that it's hard to lock down a player of the game. I might defer to you because, again, Jair Moore was the reason why Washington Township won this game 39-36. I'll also argue that first quarter field goal was a big factor as well. There's just not many words to describe how good this game was. You know, there are few NFL games that can reach the height that we had. You might have seen it on our feed where the camera was literally shaking. My hand was over the camera, and it still was shaking from how fierce this Washington Township fan base was. This was a homecoming game for Washington Township. It was a game that they will remember for a long, long time. Last year's game was memorable in Kingsway, but to do it at home and to do it in the last minute of play, and also to have that thrilling ending where they kneeled 3 times and punted. Don't know what happened there, but they got a little bit lucky at the end. I'll give them that. But listen, I'll also give Kingsway their props. I know we had a lot of Kingsway fans in the chat, and also we're covering high school sports. There is a silver lining to everything, and Kingsway played phenomenally in terms of how their offense ran. I really loved how we saw some great work from David Oravets. He got picked off 3 times in the first half and still almost won this game. That was incredible perseverance from Oravets. I thought that his composure was really there. He never seemed uncomposed. He never seemed angry with himself. He never seemed down on his luck. He never showed that, at least in a way that we can convey. He stayed professional, he stayed poised, and he found a way to come back. And again, we were only a couple minutes removed. You know, if the lights go out and the tape cuts with 4 minutes left in the game, Kingsway is a winner tonight, and they're 7-1. But instead, they go down to 6-2 with their first loss since September 6th at Camden. And I'll tell you this, I mean, Kingsway, I also really liked how they ran Cole DeNick. However, I cannot help but think in the back of my mind, whatever's left in my head, that there was some play calling that went wrong for Mark Hendricks. Keep the ball on the ground. 3 minutes left in the game. Cole DeNick doesn't get the football. I can't really excuse that. They've had some good games this year. We covered them earlier this year versus Delsey. There you go. That was head coach Mike Schatzman. He's loving it. We're loving it. Records broken on DWB. Listen, you know, Kingsway played a good game, but Washington Township showed why they are 8-0. They showed why they're number 9 in the state. They showed why they're number 1 in South Jersey Group 5, because how many times in front of their home crowd, in front of immense pressure on homecoming night, can you come back down 12? Can you come back from that kickoff return in the third quarter and come back and make an amazing statement?
It was incredible. And credit to all teams, all players. There were so many contributions, like you said, on either side of the football. Again, Oravets, 3 interceptions in the first half alone, doubling his record coming into this game with only 3 on the year, doubling that to 6 now. And just being able to persevere through that, his mindset was locked in, and he just took this this offense and just looked like a whole new team going into that second half. That is something that college coaches are going to look for, and even further, something that maybe even NFL coaches are going to look for. It just all depends on skill level when you get to the NFL. But that mindset, if you keep that locked in all the way from high school, they're going to look through it all the way through college and all the way if you make it to the league. But go back to that play calling argument that you brought up. I would also have a few questions about that too with Cole DeNick. He was huge this game. He had that monumental 40-something yard touchdown. 49-yard touchdown that really shut this place down, took the lead for the Dragons, and then obviously that huge comeback by the Minutemen. But in that fourth down and short, close to the end of the game, that really decided it all.
Right.
You don't give the ball to Cole DeNick. He has been your star player.
Incompletions.
Exactly. He has been your star player throughout this whole game and throughout this whole season, running the ball on the ground. You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
I get Oravets and running that and keeping it and just trying to get as many blockers in front of him as you can. But you get an even stronger and even more experienced rusher in DeNick. So it's going to come back a lot if they replay this in film, which they definitely will. There's so many to go through. That's going to be something that's going to be talked about.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, Washington Township, they've got a big home game versus Timber Creek. I think they should stay humble. I mean, there's a reason for them to be excited, I'll tell you that. But 2-5, Timber Creek comes to town next week. They only lost by 12 to Camden, and Camden's not a bad team. Camden's a team that beat Kingsway by 5. So if you want to go around the loop of common opponents, maybe you want to go down that rabbit hole. But then for Kingsway, they're home to Williamstown. Both games, by the way, Timber Creek and Washington Township, and then Williamstown at Kingsway are both in our fan vote. Voting opens on X and Instagram at 12 noon on Sunday. The other 2 games you can vote for, if you so choose, are Pennsville at Collingswood, and I believe the other one is Pleasantville at Gloucester. So those are your 4 options. All 4 of them should be really good games. So whichever you choose, we're expecting a lot of voters this year, and I'm very excited to bring back continue the 3rd year of the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting fan vote. But what a night. I've got to rest my voice. I've probably got to drink some hot tea all night and into the morning for our West Deptford and Paulsboro broadcast at 11 a.m. tomorrow from the 295 corridor at Glenn Howard Stadium. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso, my producer, Chase Barnes, working his first DWB game, and what a game for him to work with over 650 people watching him. No pressure, Chase. he looks like he needs to go to bed. But my color commentator, Chase Parson, I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow in the morning, bright and early. I don't know how I'm going to make another 4 quarters of football, but when you have a matchup like West Deptford and Paulsboro, you don't want to miss it. Have a good one, folks. 39-36, Washington Township over Kingsway.